XM, you get all the sports play-by-play you want and all the live sports talk you need. It's always a home game when you listen to the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB on the Sirius XM app.
How good is that?
We fuel your fandom with NASCAR, the biggest college games, PGA, and soccer. And when news breaks, hear instant reaction.
We got a big developing story out of Cincinnati.
The Sirius XM app. Everything a sports fan needs, all in one place. From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
JCL Toronto. This
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Game 2 against the San Diego Padres. The Blue Jays shut out San Diego 3-0 yesterday for their first shutout win of the season on the back of a great start from Chris Bassett and a couple of big homers from Guerrero and Santander. Now Toronto looks to keep the momentum going and snatch a series win on this 3-series homestand as they send out Kevin Gausman today. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer. Tom Young and Derek Brandeo are our technical directors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Malton and Milton. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. So it's Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays looking to rebound off a tough outing where he gave up 3 home runs against the Tampa Bay Rays. On the other side, the Padres send out Randy Vasquez, who was in the rotation due to some injuries for San Diego and has been really good so far. But the Blue Jays did get him for 4 runs in 5 innings when they faced him last year. We'll have lineup standings, first pitch from Gausman coming up on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens.
Oh yeah, look what just came in the mail, insiders. We got that plaque. Be on the lookout for our unboxing video coming up soon. So make sure your notifications are turned on for that one. The kids are excited, and so am I. And I hope you are as well, because what this community has accomplished together, now over 100,000 strong. Toronto sports fans, thank you. Now, for the Blue Jays, what a night we have tonight. The Blue Jays got the win last night against the Padres. Let's do it again, Jays. Come on, we got to cheer them on loud in the chat. Please hit that like button. Share this link out. Let's keep growing this awesome community. And oh yeah, if you're new, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Blue Jays game the rest of the season. We'll see you back in the chat. Let's go, Blue Jays. Can't wait to open that plaque. Yeah!
Having this big voice, I may just call the game this way.
Order pizza.ca.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte Motor Speedway on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the Sirius XM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
Network.
Deal 1. Swing and a line drive. Deep right field. Turning around Tatis. It's out of here! How do you like the 6-hole, Anthony Santander? second Blue Jays homer today. A line drive blast, and it's 3-0 Toronto in the fifth.
When you're working the right way and you're not getting results, it's frustrating. And I think when you finally have a big swing, everyone kind of feels a little bit of a sense of relief. That was really cool. That was cool to kind of look to my left and see everyone kind of doing the same thing. And we're going to need him to kind of continue to trend in this direction.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider talking after the big 2-run homer yesterday from Anthony Santander that helped the Blue Jays to a 3-0 series opening win against the San Diego Padres. Game 2 about to get going from Rogers Center alongside Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. And Chris, the Blue Jays have been waiting for it. Consistent production from Santander. Not going to say that one home run means he's consistently producing yet, but it was a big swing.
Yeah, and you heard John Schneider say it's good to see him trending in the right direction. I think everybody in that Blue Jays dugout, everybody in the stands wants him to succeed. The Blue Jays need him to succeed, not only for their success, but to score runs. They need to hit home runs to score runs, and I think last night was only the beginning.
2 home runs and a 3-0 win for Toronto that got their record to 23-24. Let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 18+ play responsibly. Ontario only. The Yankees 28-19 to open the day, leading the division, with the Red Sox 4.5 back. They are 25-25. Toronto Blue Jays 5 back. They're 23-24. The Tampa Bay Rays already won today. They're 6 back, 23-26. And the Orioles won today as well, snapping an 8-game losing streak. They're now 16-32, 12.5 back of the division. On the other side, the Padres dropped into 3rd place after yesterday's result, 1.5 back of the division-leading Dodgers at 27-19. Speaking of the Padres, Chris, who's in the lineup for Mike Schultz's team?
Well, leading off for the Padres is Fernando Tatis Jr. He's in right field. At first base, batting second is Luis Arraez. Batting third is Manny Machado. He's playing third base tonight. In center field in the cleanup spot is Jackson Merrill. Batting fifth is Xander Bogaerts. He's at shortstop. DHing. Batting sixth is Gavin Sheets. Batting seventh is Jake Cronenworth. He's at second base. In left field, batting eighth is Jason Hayward. Behind the dish is Martin Maldonado. He's batting ninth for the Padres. On the mound is righty Randy Vasquez for the Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off is Bo Bichette. He's at shortstop. At first base, batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting third is Dalton Varsho. He's in center field. In right field, hitting in the cleanup spot is George Springer. Batting fifth behind the dish is Alejandro Kirk. Batting sixth is Anthony Santander. He's DHing tonight. Batting seventh is Addison Barger. He's at third base. At second base, hitting eighth is Ernie Clement. And in left field, batting ninth is Nathan Lucas. On the mound is righty Kevin Gausman.
Kevin Gausman, 34 years old, 6'2", 205 pounds, from Colorado. He is 3-4 with a 4.59 earned run average in 9 starts. Trying to bounce back after a tough one on the 15th against the Rays. 5 2/3, 10 hits, 6 runs, 6 strikeouts on over 100 pitches for Gausman. He gave up 3 home runs in that start after not giving up a homer in each of the previous 4.
In his last 2 starts, he's given up 17 hits and he's walked nobody. That just tells me that he's leaving too many pitches over the middle of the plate. He works best when he's at the top of the zone and then when he's at the bottom of the zone with that split finger. Let's see if he can do that tonight.
Gausman completing his warm-up pitches to Alejandro Kirk. The Blue Jays are in their royal blue jerseys today with white pants and royal blue caps. For the Padres, it's another day in the light brown with pinstripes and yellow trimming around darker brown numbers and letters on the back. Fernando Tatis Jr. will lead it off, kicking away some dirt in the righty batter's box, muddying up his all-white cleats. Ball gets thrown out to Gausman, who brings it in behind the mound and walks up the back of the hill. Right-hander flips the ball out of his glove into his bare hand. Now he licks his fingers, wipes them on his pants, stretches his arms out, and steps onto the rubber. Tatis swinging the bat below his knees, brings it up to his right shoulder. Looking out at Gausman, who's bouncing his left foot. He stops and delivers. First pitch low, ball 1. Time of the first pitch today, 7:09 Eastern. The roof is closed at Rogers Center. It's not only cold, but quite damp in downtown Toronto today. Rain pretty much throughout the day. The 1-0. Downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Tatis coming off a series opener in which he went 1 for 4 with a single. 2-0 pitch. Called a strike.
That's a good pitch right there. You could see that he's trying to locate that fastball to the bottom of the strike zone. The first 2 fastballs missed below the strike zone, and that one was perfect right at the bottom.
4-seamer, splitter, slider for the righty. His 2-1. Swing and a miss. First splitter of the day is a good one. It's 2-2. Trying to get the crowd into it early. Kevin Gausman set at the belt, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Went right back to the splitter below the knees, and there's 1 down.
That's a good sign for Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays. 2 very good split fingers. Started in that strike zone and then just dove right off the table. I mean, that was a really good at-bat for Kevin Gausman.
It is, although now he has a really tough opponent for his style specifically. Luis Arraez is up, one of the great contact hitters in the game. Left-handed batter and first baseman for the Padres. Here's the pitch. Hit away, foul, 0-1. We went into it yesterday about how rare it is to get a swing and a miss from Luis Arraez. Only about 3% of the time he whiffs. Now, he did end up swinging and missing yesterday once, but you almost never see it. The 0-1. Fastball away. And what you have not seen at all this year, not even once, is a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. And that's off-speed pitches defined as changeups and splitters. He has 25 swings against him this year. Doesn't see a ton of them, but he has at least fouled off a ball in each of those 25 swings. The 1-1. Rolled over near first. It just veers foul. Could have been extra bases. Instead, it's a foul ball, and it's 1-2.
Well, that tells me, and we talked about this a little bit before the broadcast, but that tells me that his approach is sit, spin, react fastball. He's so good at just flipping the bat through the zone and hitting a tough fastball the other way, so why not just sit, spin?
The 1-2. Down and away with a splitter. Arraez checked his swing, leaned over the plate, but made sure that he kept that arm stiff, didn't fire the hands. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, bases empty, top of the first. Gausman offers. This one lined into right center field. That's trouble. That's down in the gap for a base hit, and it's racing toward the track. Cut off by Springer. Arraez into second, and for the second day in a row, he's got a first-inning double.
And that was just a hanging slider from Kevin Gausman right down the middle. And like we talked about, Luis Arraez so good at making contact on off-speed pitches, just sitting on that spin, and he hammered that thing into the gap in right field for a double.
For Arraez, it's his 7th double of the season. He's in scoring position for Manny Machado. Former teammate of Kevin Gausman, spent many years together in Baltimore. Gausman's pitch. Called a strike. Machado, 2012 to mid-2018, he was a Baltimore Oriole. Kevin Gausman, 2013 to mid-2018, he was an Oriole. Time called, and there's going to be a balk on Gausman, sending Arraez to third. Gausman dumbfounded, and John Schneider out of the Blue Jay dugout.
Yeah, Gausman not sure what he did there. I mean, he's pretty adamant that he didn't balk. I didn't really see anything either. I'm going to have to see a replay to figure this out, but John Schneider's out of the dugout now.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. actually getting in between Adam Hammery, the second base ump, and Gausman, just to make sure nothing happens here, leaving it to John Schneider to do the talking. We're getting a look now. You know what? Gausman, he kind of had his hands together before he actually set, and then he moved his leg into a set position. I don't know if that's the reason. going to have to take another look at it.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't see much.
The Blue Jays seem confused, and that's a very consequential balk. Now a runner on third, only one out. So the Blue Jays infield comes in, and Machado just needs a fly ball to score a rise. So Padres team that's been struggling for runs in the last 4 games. 0-1 count, 1 out. Gausman's pitch. Machado takes it down and in.
This is a big time for a strikeout here. If Gausman can reach back, maybe get some extra velo above that strike zone, throw the split finger below the strike zone, see if they can get Manny Machado to swing over it.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Splitter right near the back foot. It's 1-2.
And again, Alejandro Kirk has to be a wall back there, especially with that run standing out at third base.
Infield shifted to the third base side and playing in, maybe a step off the turf, except for Clement, the second baseman, who's on the turf. 1 out, runner on third, and the 1-2. Popped up, first base side, foul territory. Long run, Guerrero tracking back near the side warning track, makes the catch. Arise dekes a tag. Vladdy throws home, and Kirk reels it in off of bounds to keep Arise at third. Big pitch, 2 down.
Infield pop-up just as good as a strikeout, almost safer than a strikeout because you're not throwing a wild pitch, or at least potentially throwing a wild pitch. A nice play from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for out number 2. Fires that thing back in to home plate.
Arise did a good sell job. He took about 3 hard steps, and with Vladdy having to go back a ways, there was at least a non-zero chance that Arise was going to try and go. 2 outs, infield backs up. Right on left pitch to Jackson Merrill. Swing and a miss. Gets under Kirk, but doesn't get away from him as he ditches the mask and spins to find it. It's 0-1.
It's actually smart that Luis Arise did that, kind of forcing that throw, because you never know where that throw is going to end up. It could short hop Alejandro Kirk, hit off his pad, and go the other way, and then Arise ends up scoring. A smart play over there from him.
It did bounce, but Kirk brought it in without any issue. 0-1 to Merrill. Outside. Home plate ump today is the crew chief, Todd Tishner. James Jean is at first base. Adam Hammery at second, and Nestor Seha at third. No score in the top of the first. 2 outs and a runner on third. The 1-1. Bounced away foul, 1-2. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 22-year-old Merrill looking out at the veteran Kevin Gausman. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gausman spins with a hop off the mound, punching out Merrill on a splitter to strand Arise at third. No score after an inning. No runs on a hit, 1 left. And Bo Bichette to lead it off against the Padres when we come back. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Timber Mart. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
The 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Strike 3 looking.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Righty Randy Vasquez on the hill for the San Diego Padres. Bottom of the first inning. Welcome back to Rogers Center. Pitch to Bo Bichette, misses up and in. Ball one. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young and Derek Brandeo, our technical directors. The 1-0. Bo takes it upstairs again. Ball two. For Randy Vasquez, start 10 on the year. 3-3 with an ERA just below 3.5. He's 26 years old. 6 foot tall, 165 pounds. Righty's 2-0. Chop toward third. That's going to stay foul. 2-1. Vasquez from the Dominican Republic, originally signed with the Yankees in 2018. The 2-1. High, ball three.
You have to be patient when facing Randy Vasquez. He's a guy that loses command of that strike zone pretty often. 26 walks this season in just 44 1/3 innings.
His 3-1. Called a strike, 3-2.
That's a pretty good pitch. Right on the corner. Bo Bichette didn't think so, but it's a good strike.
That was the cutter from Vasquez, his most used pitch. 3-2 offering. Called, strike three. Plants a sinker right on the outside corner. Bichette dropped his back to the dirt. Either upset with himself or the call. Either way, one down.
Yeah, that's a great pitch. Randy Vasquez fighting back in that count. He fell behind 2-0 to Bo Bichette. Ends up striking him out. A big out for him.
Randy Vasquez has maybe just a pinch of Chris Bassett in his style of pitching. He's going to mix a lot of different pitches. He has 6 of them overall. His pitch to Vlad. Called a strike. Starts Guerrero off with the cutter again. That's low to mid-90s. But he's also got a sweeper, four-seamer, sinker, curve, and change. And at least a little bit, he uses all of them. A 1. Down and away with the sweeper. 1 ball, 1 strike. So he's not trying to overpower you. He is trying to push and pull you and keep you off balance. Steps to the left, kicks and deals. Guerrero hits the 1-1 on the ground to shortstop. Backing up Bogarts onto the left center turf. He throws over to first, and there are 2 outs.
And he does have a little bit of elo with that sinker, with that four-seamer. Sits about 93, 94 miles an hour. Once in a while, he'll try to sneak that pitch by you. Tried to sneak it by Vlad. Vlad hit that hard ball on the ground, but unfortunately was an out for the Blue Jays.
2 down and a big infield shift. Everyone moving toward first as Dalton Varsho, the left-handed hitter, comes up with the bases empty. The pitch. Called strike. Manny Machado, a shortstop at one point in his career, is almost playing short right now, although he's in case Varsho bunts. Bogarts up the middle. 0-1. Check swing. Called strike. Just got the curve to the outside edge. It's 0-2. Vasquez coming off a nice 6-inning 1-run start against the Angels on the 14th. Gets into the wind. 2-strike pitch. Bounce foul back behind Varsho and into the backstop. Randy Vasquez spent a long time in the Yankees minor league system. Won a Double-A title with the Somerset Patriots. Pitched 8 innings of a combined no-hitter in the title game. 0-2. Popped up foul out of play. Left side into the seats. But was dealt away with a lot of other Yankees prospects when the Yankees brought in Juan Soto last year. Did pitch for New York before being traded away. Actually against the San Diego Padres. The 0-2 again. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's kind of like Brendan Little. Brendan Little debuted for the Cubs against the Blue Jays, and then turns out he would get his biggest opportunity with the Blue Jays. The 1-2. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Do you think the Cubs are looking back now and thinking, we did not know he was going to be this good? He had the same stuff. I mean, that stuff didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah. A tough thing for him and them. He did get hurt a little bit in his career there. 2-2. Rolled over foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. But I'm sure, though, if you're in the Cubs front office, the Blue Jays front office, Yankees, Padres, whoever, For as many guys as you miss like that, hopefully you hit on guys like that. Two-two. Popped up, third base side foul, potentially playable for Machado. Long run onto the side warning track, makes the catch in front of the Blue Jays third base dugout to end the inning. A fight put up near the end by Varsho, but a 1-2-3 inning for Randy Vasquez. No score after one. Blue Jays and Padres. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
There's a world where a new wave rolls. First Wave, where 80s era alternative and cult classics play 24/7. Get your new wave fix on First Wave. Channel 33, or listen at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, and other internet-connected devices and speakers.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center for the second inning, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 0-0, Blue Jays and Padres. The pitch to Xander Bogaerts is lined toward left field. Late break coming in. Lucas makes the catch head high. And Kevin Gausman gets the first out of the inning on one pitch.
Well, Kevin Gausman will take that. Xander Bogaerts hit that off the end of the bat just a little bit. An easy play for Nathan Lucas out in left field.
While Gausman has been up and down this year, pitches like that have come frequently. A first pitch strike. Something that he's done at the second highest rate of anyone in the American League. He throws over 70% first pitch strikes. First pitch to Gavin Sheets, the left-handed hitter. Called a strike. Would have looked really bad on me if he missed outside. It's 0-1.
Yeah, 70% first pitch strikes is actually very high. I would say pretty good is about 63, 64%, okay. Somewhere around there, especially as a reliever. Want to pound the strike zone even more.
0-1 called a strike. How about a second pitch strike, and it's 0-2?
Well, what are his stats for second pitch strikes, Ben?
You know what? I'm going to have to go digging for that one. Infield shifted to pull for the left-handed hitting DH Sheets. The 0-2. Down and away with a splitter. Wasn't trying to throw a strike that time. A good take by Sheets.
His stuff so far tonight is pretty good. That last split finger, even though it was a ball down below the strike zone, had a lot of movement on it. The 1-2 pitch. Splitter low again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. John Schneider was asked today about the stuff of Kevin Gausman. There's been some discussion. Is it like it used to be, like it was a couple years ago? He said if the fastball's good, the splitter's good. That's how he sees it, rather than anything wrong with the splitter. 2-2. Called. Strike 3. How about a fastball right on the outside corner? Third strikeout of the day for Gausman. I absolutely agree with John Schneider, because I've said it a lot with Chris Bassett, with Jose Barrios. If the fastball location is good, if the fastball command and velocity are good, then generally speaking, the off-speed pitches will be good, just because the release point is good. Kevin Gausman showing that tonight so far.
2 down is pitched to Jake Cronenworth. Misses outside, ball 1. 0-0 Blue Jays and Padres. Bases are empty. Top of the second. Madison Barger, wary of a bunt, plays even with the bag. A little bit off the line at third. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Big hack there on a middle down fastball by Gausman. 1-1. He's trying to put that one in the Crone zone, Jake Cronenworth. As Don Orsillo would say. He's not here, but great fill-in. Jesse Agler on TV and Bob Scanlon on radio as the 1-1 hits the zone. It's 1-2.
It's a pretty good pitch right there. 96 miles an hour from Kevin Gausman right on the corner.
Cronenworth asks for time, adjusts his batting gloves, steps back in. Bright neon cleats on the left-handed hitting second baseman. The 1-2. Grounded foul.
What do you got on those bright neon cleats? I've seen a couple of guys wear those colors.
I think if he tried to cross the street where there wasn't an intersection, cars would start to slow down. Those are so bright yellow. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Actually left the splitter up a little bit, but had Cronenworth out in front. A 1-2-3 inning for Gausman, who has struck out 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced. No score, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Tomorrow on Sportsnet, Hockey Central previews a big night in Raleigh. Then puck drop.
The Florida Panthers have picked up right where they left off here in Game 1 of the Eastern Final.
Florida came out swinging in Game 1.
Bennett looks to the net and scores.
The defending champs are in the zone.
Florida's just playing a wonderful road game.
Can Carolina respond and square up the series?
Deflects it in off his skate.
Panthers, Hurricanes, Game 2, the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A game-tying blast from Bo Bichette.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second, Randy Vasquez deals to George Springer, who turns it around to center field high in the air. But Jackson Merrill under it just in front of the track to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Vasquez and the Padres.
Kevin Gausman did it. Why not Randy Vasquez? 1 pitch, 1 out. George Springer was all over that sinker at the top of the strike zone. Just didn't get underneath it enough to get it out of here.
So he'll hand the baton over to Alejandro Kirk. Yeah, Blue Jays catcher from Mexico, batting with 1 out. And the base is empty. No score. Blue Jays and Padres, bottom 2. And the pitch misses low, ball 1. It's George Springer football jersey giveaway night in Toronto. 1-0 to Kirk. Outside. And today really tested the giveaway fanatics. Often you'll see them there hours before the game, sometimes 7-8 hours before. That's not hyperbole. 2-0 pitch, high and outside, taken by Kirk, ball 3. Well, today it rained all day. So if you were out there for even more than an hour before the game, I'm impressed. I don't know about you, Chris. 3-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner. Strike one.
It really doesn't matter what the giveaway is. There's always a lineup outside waiting for it. I'm a bobblehead guy. I would wait in line for bobbleheads. Other than that, never.
3-1. Bounced over the hill, running in Bogarts, crosses second, sets his feet, throws to first. 2 down.
But today, when I drove in, there was nobody waiting outside. It was pouring.
It was pouring.
It was pouring.
2 down, bases empty. No score, Blue Jays and Padres. It's a Toronto Argonauts style jersey with Springer on the back. And a couple Argonauts came to throw out the first pitch. Argos quarterback Nick Arbuckle threw from the mound rather than the backfield. First pitch now to Anthony Santander, called a strike. And you had Dejan Brissett throw out a first pitch as well. Older brother of NBA player O'Shea Brissett. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brissett also had the crucial onside kick recovery in the 111th Grey Cup win for the Argos. 1-1. Curveball flipped over, called a strike, 1-2. No score, bottom of the second, 2 outs and the bases empty. And Santander, the switch hitter batting left, asks for time. Hitting 6th for 2nd day in a row is the Blue Jays' Venezuelan DH. Taps the plate twice, spins around the bat, brings it up toward his chest. Here's the 1-2. Called, strike 3. Might have been a little bit low, but the benefit of a call for Vasquez punches out Santander, who's still talking with Todd Tishner as the inning comes to a close. Vasquez has gone 6 up, 6 down, a pitcher's duel early on. It's no score between the Padres and Blue Jays after 2 at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet3. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
For this life I cannot change. Hidden hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
0-0 Blue Jays and Padres as we resume in the top of the 3rd inning in downtown Toronto. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. First pitch to Jason Hayward is called inside. Gosman missed his spot but appeared to hit the zone, but called a ball, so it's 1-0.
Yeah, that's one of those pitches. If Alejandro Kirk is set up on the inside part of the plate, that's a strike 10 out of 10 times.
Right on left pitch to Jason Hayward. Called strike. Hayward, a towering 6'5".
That was a makeup call. That pitch was off the plate. They gave it to him. I'll take it, though.
It all evens up at the end of the day. Gosman's 1-1. Fouled back. Good hack there by Hayward. That was in his happy zone, down and in, but he just missed it. Hit it back into the netting, 1-2.
Yeah, I don't think you want to throw a fastball there again. Maybe think about throwing a split finger below the strike zone. Hayward struggles with those fastballs above the strike zone, too.
The 1-2. Lined and caught at short by Bo Bichette. That was a good piece of contact from Hayward on a fastball away, but unlucky for him, he hit it right at Bichette.
And that was a missed location. Alejandro Kirk was set up at the top of the strike zone, maybe even above that strike zone, but Kevin Gausman, like you said, threw it. I thought it was right down the middle. Maybe it was a little bit on the outer third, but Jason Hayward showing he still has a little bit of skill left in those old bones.
Hayward retired. Here's the 9-hitter, Martin Maldonado, another veteran. The pitch. Broken bat, little swinging bunt. Back to Gausman. He picks it up, throws over to first for the out. That bat exploded. Maldonado must have hit the ball halfway down the handle. Most of the bat is near third base. Shards of it all in front of home plate.
It almost looked like Martin Maldonado didn't want to run to first base. He saw where that ball was going, just dribbling out in front of home plate, and he stood in the batter's box for 2 or 3 seconds before he decided to go to first base.
He was trying to check his swing. That's why it hit so far down the bat near the handle. Gausman will take it, and now his pitch to Tatis is bounced foul, 0-1.
I think that's one of those reactions where you look at the baseball and you're like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I mean, he's not even trying to hit it, and he gets handed about the worst piece of contact you could have while breaking his bat. 2 down, bases empty, no score. In the top of the third, Gausman fires to Tatis. Swing and a miss. This third inning brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Malton and Milton. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center. Visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikes out Tatis for a second time today on a splitter. And that's 3 scoreless innings for Kevin Gausman. Blue Jays trying to break the ice in this 0-0 game. When we come back, you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hello, it's me, Katie Nolan, host of Casuals on the SiriusXM Podcast Network. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm joined by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment to break down our favorite news stories from the sports world and beyond. It really doesn't matter what level of sports fandom or knowledge you have, just bring what you've got. We're all here to have fun and learn together. No judgments. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Love you. Mean it.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
In a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Radio Network.
Addison Barger takes a strike to start the bottom of the third inning. No score at Rogers Center between the Blue Jays and the Padres. Bottom third of the Toronto order, starting with Barger. Pitch from Randy Vasquez. Check swing, called strike. And the righty gets ahead of the left-handed hitter Barger, 0-2. Ernie Clement will follow. Nathan Lucas batting number 9 today in the Blue Jay order. But first, it's the stocky left-handed hitter and third baseman Addison Barger. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Check swing again. This one just missed outside. Gutsy take there on a four-seamer, 1-2.
Martin Maldonado, the catcher, was holding that pitch, waiting for that strike to be called. But it was just a little bit outside.
Maldonado and Vasquez very familiar with each other. The 1-2 in the dirt, stopped by Maldonado. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Padres have gone strictly with personal catchers so far this season. Maldonado has caught every Cecil Vasquez start. Elias Diaz, every Michael King, Nick Pivetta, and Steven Kolick start. 2-2. Chop to the left side. Backhanded Bogarts. Tough throw back to first, but he makes it there in time. His body was taking him toward left field, but so much strength for the big shortstop Bogarts. 1 out.
And the hardest part about that play is Manny Machado was moving in front of him, almost blocking his view of that baseball, but Xander Bogaerts was able to make the play, throw across his body, a strike to Arise at first base.
Now Bogaerts will move toward the hole on the left side with Machado jogging toward third base. It's Ernie Clement up, the pitch. Called strike. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Get Air Miles reward miles on your next home improvement buys at Timbermart. Plus, take advantage of buy now, pay later financing options with your Timbermart project card. Start your project today. For details, visit Timbermart, Canada's Building Center. 0-1 pitch driven out to right center. On the run, it's caught by Fernando Tatis Jr. 2 down.
It was almost like Fernando Tatis came out of nowhere there. I thought that ball was easily getting in the gap. But Tatis with the easy play out in right center.
In the Timbermart broadcast booth, that's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. It's remarkable that Tatis is one of the better corner outfielders in the game right now. A shortstop when he came up, but struggled there. He's a gold and platinum glover in right field. Won that in 2023, his first year out in right. Now a pitch to Lucas, misses outside, ball 1.
I mean, he's been good. He's really solid out there, makes all the routine plays. He'll give you a chance on all the tough plays, and that play right there just proves that he's very solid.
2 outs in the 1-0. Fouled away, 1-1.
And also, Nathan Lucas just showed bunt. Manny Machado, the third baseman, is almost playing where the shortstop would normally play. Maybe a little bit in, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to push that bunt down the third baseline.
Machado's way off the third baseline, almost closer to second base. The 1-1. Fouled away to the left.
And I'm wondering if Nathan Lucas really didn't have any. He was never going to bunt. He was just trying to get Manny Machado to move back, maybe closer to that normal third base position.
1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Does seem that way.
It also didn't work.
No. Everything working so far for Randy Vasquez. 2 outs, bottom of the third, no score. Trying to go perfect first time through the order. His 2-2. Lined, left field, slicing, foul, just into the seats. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nathan Lucas hitting .240 on the year, but a .348 on base percentage with a fair amount of walks and a .735 on base plus slugging. Another 2-2. Inside. Lucas jumps back out of the way. Ball 3. These numbers I just rattled off, are they going to get you into an all-star game? Probably not. But as a 9-hitter, it's going to be one of the more productive 9-hitters you'll see in the American League. Payoff pitch. Lines towards center field and down for a base hit. Fielded on a high hop by Merrill. Lucas, the 9-hitter, the first base runner today for the Blue Jays.
And I think Nathan Lucas is just a little bit better than what he's showing, even though he's been very solid lately. If you look back at his minor league numbers, very, very good AAA numbers, dominated AAA. And like I've said a million times, if you can dominate AAA for multiple seasons as an offensive player, you're probably going to be a productive member of a major league ball club.
Lucas on first now with 2 outs, and Bo Bichetta. Vasquez from the stretch for the first time. The pitch. Called strike. Wonder if they think about starting Nathan Lucas here with 2 outs. Maybe give Bo Bichette an opportunity to hit with a runner in scoring position. A 1. Low.
Martin Maldonado, of course, once known for that that very, very plus arm behind the plate. Maybe not so much now. He's 38 years old, a lot of miles on that arm. So I actually don't think that's a bad idea, getting Nathan Lucas started over there.
He also get a high leg kick from the pitcher Vasquez, who deals home. Lucas dekes his steal, and the pitch down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. He's caught the attention of Maldonado, who looked to first but decided not to throw the back pick. Lucas caught stealing twice this year. Doesn't have a stolen bag yet, although one of those caught stealings was actually a pickoff. The 2-1. Lifted to right center. Medium depth. Merrill putting his hand up to wave off Tatis, and the Padres center fielder brings it into his left. To end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. Lucas left on first, and no score after 3 innings in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sports are all about moments.
One of the most incredible, miraculous finishes we have ever seen.
And you can hear them all.
He scores! Alex Ovechkin! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
As they happen.
Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani, a sayonara swing!
Live in the moment.
Rory McIlroy on his knees. He's won the Masters.
With live sports on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 4th inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. 0-0 ball game. Top of the 4th. Luis Arraez leads off against Kevin Gausman. Gausman looking in, kicks, and offers. Pitch called a ball. It popped out of the glove of Kirk, but probably had the zone. It's 1-0.
That's a great pitch. Down at the bottom of that strike zone. I'm sure Kevin Gausman wants that pitch. He's looking at home plate right now, wondering where that was.
Todd Tishner going back and forth with John Schneider now. The Blue Jays already somewhat upset with the umpiring crew after the questionable first inning balk. The 1-0. Called a strike.
I think Arraez was taking all the way there. At least it looked like it.
Only Arraez knows what Arraez is doing a lot of the time at the plate, but it works really well for him. Batting .301. His 1-1 is lifted to left. Moving back, Nathan Lucas makes the catch for the first out. And for Kevin Gausman, that's the 3rd time in 11 tries in his career that he has retired Arraez. Arraez now 8 for 11 against Gausman career.
Well, I think a lot of guys struggle against Luis Arraez.
100%.
If you have a career .321 average, you're doing something right.
Arraez down, 1 out. Manny Machado comes up. The pitch. Low ball 1. John Schneider said today when asked about pitching to Arraez, just throw it down the middle and hope that he hits it at someone because you're not going to strike him out. The 1-0. Machado gets it off the end of the bat. A deep liner, right field. Going back. Springer leaps at the wall. It's off the fence and down on the track. Machado racing for second. Throw comes in late. It's a stand-up double.
Well, I did not think Manny Machado got enough to get that ball out to right field. That just tells you and shows you how strong he is. It was a four-seamer on the black outside. I thought he got it off the end of the bat, but like I said, strong enough to get it out there over George Springer.
He maybe got it a little bit closer to the barrel than it looked like, but still was not right in that sweet spot. A big hit, though, for Machado. Snaps an 0 for 16, his 15th double of the season. One out, Machado on second, and Jackson Merrill is up. The pitch, fouled away. Machado breaks his hitless streak. Now the Padres trying to break a streak. They entered today's game 0 for their last 24 with runners in scoring position across a 4-game losing streak. And in the first inning, went 0 for 2 with a runner in scoring position. So it's up to 0 for 26. The 0-1. Line foul to the left. It's 0-2.
Gosman's got a really nice fastball tonight. That one was on the outside part of the plate, 96.1 miles an hour.
A look at second, the 2-strike pitch. Lifted to shallow left. Lucas angling in, now turns toward the foul line. Onto the side warning track. Makes the catch just a couple feet from the fence, looking over the high wall. There are 2 down. Make that 0 for 28. Or 0 for 27, pardon me. Now with runners in scoring position for the Padres. And talking to some people around the Padres, it's been a lot of Machado and Merrill that have just struggled at the same time, the 2 drivers of the offense, and that's hurt them a ton. Machado on second right now after his 1-out double. There's now 2 down, and Xander Bogaerts is up. The pitch. Inside and low, ball 1. Bogaerts has 20 RBIs on the season. He's batting .245. 1-0. Just low of the zone with the splitter. 2 balls, no strikes.
And now that you've fallen behind 2-0 to Xander Bogaerts, you can be a little bit more careful because you have that open base at first base. You don't want to give him something he can hit and score that run from second base.
2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Through the splitter out of the zone and got a chase from Bogaerts to get back in the count.
That's the pitch right there. That's a perfect 2-0 pitch when you're trying to be careful to a guy. Make it look like a fastball and then have it die below that zone.
Gosman bouncing the left foot, staring at Machado. 2-1. Bogaerts fouls it off of his front left foot and goes down in a heap. Now on his hands and knees in the lefty batter's box. And seemingly in a lot of pain. This is very concerning for San Diego. Bogaerts just getting to one knee now.
Xander Bogaerts doesn't wear any protection either on that shin, on that foot. Ouch. Right on the inside part of that left foot, his front foot. It's got to hurt.
Might have even got him on the inside bone of the ankle. He is up on his feet now. Mike Shilton, the training staff out there. And Bogaerts starting to walk around rather gingerly. It looks like a quick check and he's going to stay in. But he did not look good. They are fine with him staying in quickly, and he is a veteran who knows his own body, but I think we'll have to keep an eye on Bogaerts throughout the rest of the game.
I've always wondered why guys don't wear ankle protection. I understand it could be uncomfortable, feels weird, things like that, but man, you're just asking to be hurt.
Xander Bogaerts, a veteran of 1,577 games. 10 years with the Red Sox, now in his 13th Major League season, his 3rd year with San Diego. Runner on second, 2 outs, no score. The pitch. Just low, ball 3. Tough take there by Bogaerts on a splitter that started in the zone. Gosman stretches his arms above his head. Big full count pitch coming up. Righty looking at second. Rocks back and delivers. Fastball, caught him looking. 97 at the knees. Strike 3. The one-out double by Machado stranded, and that's 4 scoreless for Kevin Gausman. No score in the game, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Join us for Cricket Day at the Park, presented by TD, Saturday, May 31st. Arrive early to receive your Blue Jays Cricket Warm-Up Jacket giveaway, presented by TD. Created in collaboration with Cricket Canada. Don't miss out on being a part of the Cricket Day spectacle at Rogers Center. Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. Every Friday home game is a City Connect Friday. On Friday, May 30th, the first 15,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. City Connect replica hockey jersey giveaway. City Connect Fridays, night mode. Lights up, let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Breaking news at 365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off for the Blue Jays. Scoreless ball game, Toronto and San Diego. Pitch from Randy Vasquez. Called high, probably had the zone, but he missed his spot. 1-0. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The 1-0. Called a strike, 1-1. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young and Derek Brandeo, our technical directors. Pitcher's duel yesterday. Early returns today say it's a pitcher's duel again. No score, the 1-1. Fouled off. Big hack by Vladdy on a cutter outside. Sent it into the netting near the first base dugout, 1-2.
A lot like yesterday. It's starting to look like every base runner will matter. Every pitch will matter, especially in the bottom of the 4th now.
There have been 3 total hits in this game. 2 doubles for San Diego, 1 single for Toronto. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big hack by Vladdy on a hanging sweeper. There's 1 out.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
A lot of finals already today. Some teams wrapping up series with day games. A couple AL East finals to get to in a moment. First, the pitch to Dalton Varsho. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Baltimore Orioles snapped their losing streak today at 8 games. Winning in 11 innings over the Milwaukee Brewers 8-4. The final score at American Family Field in Milwaukee. 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2. Adley Rutschman hit a 3-run homer in the 11th. Orioles were already leading, but that really put the game away. Baltimore needed that. Rutschman hit 2 homers here on opening day. That was just his 3rd homer since. 5 total on the year.
It's only a matter of time before he starts heating up, right?
You'd think. 0-2, cut on a miss by Varsho. Strike 3, back-to-back punch-outs for Vasquez, 2 down. Some other out-of-town scores. And another thing pretty shocking, Hunter Brown goes to George M. Steinbrenner Field today, gets rocked by the Rays. 5 innings, rocked at least for Brown standard. 5 innings, 5 earned runs, gave up 3 homers, including the Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau, Lowe-Lau back-to-back homer special. 2 down. Bottom of the 4th, base is empty. Randy Vasquez looking in at George Springer. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. Rays went on to win 8-4 over the Houston Astros. Might have been a couple quote-unquote spring training homers in that game. Wind swirling around. 1-0. Inside, 2-0. There was at least one, I think it was the low homer, where Brown looked beside himself.
Like a Dunedin homer?
Yeah. Ball gets up, wind swirling.
Those are the worst.
2-0 pitch. inside. Did that hit Springer? It did. You could hear two sounds there. It nicked off Springer and then went into the glove of Martin Maldonado. The Blue Jays will take it, just their second base runner today.
Yeah, George Springer immediately showed that hand to Todd Tishner, and then Todd Tishner called time and said that it did hit George Springer, but it actually got his elbow guard.
Barely got it. He doesn't, though, I will say, wear one of those elbow guards. A couple guys have them that really go past the elbow. His is more where his actual arm is, so that pitch probably hits him anyway. Springer on first, 2 outs. The pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Springer takes off. Pitch called a strike. Throw down to second. Not in time. Stolen base. George Springer, his 7th of the year.
That actually wasn't a bad throw from Martin Maldonado. George Springer stole that bag on Randy Vasquez, getting a very good jump and stealing that baseball pretty easily. That base pretty easily.
If he took the baseball, that'd be a whole other thing. Rips it out of Cronenworth's glove. So Springer in scoring position, 2 outs in the 0-1 to Kirk. Lifted to left. That one is hooking toward foul territory and goes well out of play into the seats. 0-2.
And that's a big stolen base, too, because now in scoring position with 2 outs, all Alejandro Kirk has to do is dump something into the outfield, and George Springer scoring the first run of the ball game.
It's the first time today the Blue Jays have had a runner in scoring position. And Alejandro Kirk, yes, he's down no balls and 2 strikes, but he has been really good at hitting with 2 strikes this year. In fact, hitting .324 with 2 strikes and .281 overall on the year. The 0-2. Down and away, ball 1.
It's because he tries to go the other way with 2 strikes. It's so important to change your approach, shorten up that swing. A lot like Luis Arraez does. Alejandro Kirk is so good at that.
Arraez playing well off the line, the first baseman, and back. Second baseman Cronenworth close to the middle of the diamond. 1-2. Hit on the ground near Cronenworth. He backhands onto the right center field turf and throws over to first to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Blue Jays. No score in this game as we go to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sunday is the fastest day of the year, and SiriusXM puts you in the driver's seat.
Man, I've wanted this race for so long.
The green flag drops on Formula One's Grand Prix of Monaco at 9 a.m. Eastern on Channel 81.
Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Then at noon Eastern on Channel 85, we head to the Brickyard for the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500.
Joseph Newgarden goes back-to-back.
At 5, NASCAR and the Coca-Cola 600 on Channel 90.
Coming to the green flag. The crowd is on its feet.
Hear it all on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday.
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Radio Network.
It's the 5th inning, brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Pitchers duel once again. Kevin Gausman and Randy Vasquez going punch for punch. Each have allowed 2 base runners through 4 innings, and it's 0-0 as we start the 5th. For Gausman, his first start against the Padres since 2021, when he was with their NL West rival, the San Francisco Giants. His pitch to Gavin Sheets, squares to bunt, pops it up foul toward the third base dugout into the screen, 0-1.
Addison Barger, the third baseman, is playing way over, shifted towards second base. And that's why Gavin Sheets tried to bunt that ball down the third baseline. Didn't work, though.
Sheets, the former White Sox, DHing for a second straight day. Barger has moved over a little bit, but is still well off the line. 0-1. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Kevin Gausman just threw his 53rd pitch of the ball game. We're in the 5th inning here.
That first pitch strike percentage, he's getting ahead of everyone and getting everyone out pretty quick. The 1-1. Low 2 balls, 1 strike.
Ben, I'm surprised you haven't come up with that second pitch strike percentage.
I don't know if that's a stat.
I don't think that's track. I'm just surprised that you haven't come up with it.
I'll do some research later. Gausman with 37 strikes in 17 balls and 54 pitches. Here's pitch 55. Outside ball 3. For only the second time today, Gausman reaches a 3-ball count. The first time was the last batter he faced to end the 4th inning when he went to a full count with Xander Bogaerts before striking him out.
Have to throw a strike here. Don't want to walk the leadoff hitter of this inning.
3-1. Popped up, foul, first base side, but it's got legs on it to get over the first base dugout and into the seats. 3-2.
That was a 3-1 splitter from Kevin Gausman. We don't see that very often.
He's feeling it. Threw a 2-0 splitter and got a whiff against Bogaerts. And 6 strikeouts so far for Gausman. We talked a little early about him not getting as much of that swing and miss early on this season. He's looking like vintage Kevin Gausman right now. His payoff pitch, fouled away to the left. A good fastball on the outside corner and a good swing by Sheets to spoil it. Gausman already with 10 swings and misses today. Randy Vasquez has generated 3. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Kevin Gausman. 1 out.
Yeah, you could tell that Gavin Sheets was expecting another split finger there. Kevin Gausman just blows that mid-90s fastball right by him.
Good fastball, good splitter tonight for Gausman. That typically leads to success for the Blue Jays right-hander. 0-0 game, 1 out. And the pitch to Jake Cronenworth. Fouled away, 0-1. Cronenworth, the Padres staple with the team since 2020. Played over 150 games in 21, 22, and 2024. The 0-1. Foul tip, 0-2. Two-time All-Star Cronenworth in 2021 and 2022. And in April of 2023 signed a 7-year, $80 million extension to keep him with the Padres until 2030. The 31-year-old faces an 0-2 pitch. Lined out to left, running back Lucas on the track, makes the catch a couple feet from the wall, 2 down.
Well, it looked like Cronenworth actually got the barrel to that baseball, but Nathan Lucas making a tough catch out there in the left field corner over his shoulder for the second out of the inning.
As Gausman asks for a new baseball, we can quickly peek over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Yankees in the Bronx against the Rangers, leading 1-0 thanks to an RBI ground out by DJ LeMahieu. Scored Anthony Volpe after a Volpe triple. No score, Blue Jays and Padres. Top of the 5th. Jason Hayward up. The pitch. Low ball 1. Another AL East game in progress. The Mets are at Fenway Park taking on the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox have won each of the last 2 days, but it's the Mets up 1-0 right now in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-0. Called strike. When we were checking the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard yesterday, I had mentioned Walker Buehler exited early. Did you see why?
I did.
It was not an injury, and it was not a pitch count. He got tossed out of that game. So did Alex Cora in a passionate argument about balls and strikes.
Did you see his tweet after the game?
No. 1-1, hit on the ground at first. Guerrero with an athletic slide to his left, races Hayward to the bag and beats him there to end the inning. A nice play from the 2022 Gold Glover, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Gausman. Scoreless game. Middle of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's not just a race, it's an American tradition.
Start your engine.
The Indianapolis 500 is on Sirius XM.
The green flag flies. They reach the yard of bricks.
Who will drink the milk and kiss the bricks this year? Find out Sunday morning at 11 Eastern when Sirius XM brings you the greatest spectacle in racing. The 109th Indianapolis 500 on Fox Sports Radio Channel 83, IndyCar Nation Channel 218, and the Sirius XM app.
The football talk doesn't stop on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
They're mentally tough, they're physically tough, and they're talented.
From OTAs to mini camps and leading up to training camps, stay updated on the latest news around the National Football League.
Got to practice a certain way if you want to be winners.
Our experts are getting you ready for the 2025 season.
For the veteran players, they want to see the guy earn the job.
There's a story for every team on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the fifth inning, Padres and Blue Jays scoreless. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Anthony Santander, Addison Barger, and Ernie Clement to hit for Toronto this inning against Randy Vasquez, who's allowed one single and hit one batter so far in this game. Those are the only mistakes he's made. Right-handers struggled last year in the rotation for San Diego, not so much this year. His pitch to Anthony Santander called a strike. Last year, an ERA near 5 in 20 starts. They asked him to start games coming out of spring this year with a couple injuries. Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Matt Waldron, all on the injured list. 0-1 down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. And as it sits right now, his earned run average is right around 3. Only his 35th career start, 1-1. Outside 2-1. In start 35 of Vasquez's career, he's going toe-to-toe with Kevin Gausman, who's making his 300th start of his career.
He's been really good tonight. A lot of his pitches have been devastating to those guys in that Blue Jays dugout.
The 2-1. Called low. Could have gone either way. Maybe a break for Santander. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
And I'm pretty impressed with how much life there is on that sinker, on that four-seamer. I thought he was really just a cutter sweeper guy.
The wind and the 3-1. Called a strike right on the outside edge. Full count. Two big swings helped the Blue Jays yesterday. They only had 3 hits in yesterday's win, but 2 of them were homers, 1 from Vladdy and 1 from Santander. Only 1 hit so far for Toronto. The Nathan Lucas single in the 3rd. Still a scoreless game, though. And the payoff pitch. Hit high, deep right field. Tatis back at the track, and it's off the top of the fence. Santander around first. He'll stop with a long single as he missed a homer there on a sweeper by maybe half a foot.
Well, I think he got jammed just a little bit, and I don't think he was running hard down that first baseline. We're going to take a look here, but it was down and in, and he put a pretty good swing on it. But Anthony Santander should be at second base right now.
We didn't get a good look to see how he got out of the box. I'll try and get that in a moment, but first it's a pitch to Addison Barger, and he drives it to center. Merrill back at the warning track, at the wall, leaps, and he makes the grab, robbing a possible homer from Barger, sending Santander back to first. 1 out.
What a swing from Addison Barger. Jackson Merrill with a great play up against that wall out in center field. I thought this was a 2-0 ball game.
Probably the best contact that a Blue Jay has had today. But doesn't end up in a run, and looking back at that, I'm not sure that it gets over, but it at least hits the wall for extra bases. 1 out, Santander on first, and the pitch to Ernie Clement, down and in, ball 1.
And I hate to keep burying Anthony Santander, but if he's at second base, Addison Barger hits that ball to center field. Where is he right now? He's at third base with 1 out in this inning.
And I did go back and look. He did watch that ball to right field.
Well, there you go.
Just for a bit.
It was a good swing.
1-0. Called strike 1-1. It was, but like you said, that should have been extra bases, really. He should be on second base with a double. Instead, he's on first with a single. And who knows how much that could mean in this scoreless game. From the stretch, the pitch. Clement takes it down and away. Sweeper off the plate, 2-1.
There's a big hole on the right side. We've seen Ernie Clement shoot that big hole. Jake Cronenworth is shaded towards second. Luis Arraez is holding on Anthony Santander at first base.
The 2-1. Hit on a line, a hopper up the middle, sliding stop. Bogaerts glove flip to second for 1, throw to first, not in time. Heck of a play, though, from Xander Bogaerts to make it a fielder's choice, cutting down Santander, and there are 2 outs with Clement on first.
He was smooth in last night's game. He's smooth again. Not a ton of shortstops can make that play look this easy. Luckily, Ernie Clement was running hard down that first baseline and beats it out.
Bit of tough luck in this inning for the Blue Jays, given that great play by Bogaerts, half diving, half sliding to his left, or the ball hit by Barger that had an expected batting average of .950. 95 times out of 100, that's a hit, and it was a homer in 8 of 10 parks. The Santander long single, a homer in 18 of 30 ballparks. But between good defense, a little bit of tough luck on the Toronto side, it's just a runner on first and 2 outs.
Well, I think the Blue Jays need to think about lowering that fence in right field just a little bit. Getting rid of that chain link fence.
Can they do it right now? I don't know if it'll make a difference tonight, but we'll see. Nathan Lucas is up, runner on first, 2 outs. Randy Vasquez, after a mound meeting, looks into the plate. Long set for Vasquez, steps off, throws over to first. I think the Blue Jays are thinking about starting Ernie Clement, and I definitely think that Randy Vasquez is thinking about the Blue Jays thinking about starting Ernie Clement.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that Ernie Clement is at least thinking about going. He's got a couple of stolen bases this season. This would be a big spot here for him.
The pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep right field. Tatis back at the track. It's out of here! Home run of the season for Nathan Lucas, and the Blue Jays jump in front 2-0 in the 5th.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you can dominate AAA like Nathan Lucas has, you can be a good hitter in the big leagues, and he is certainly starting to show it. What a swing there. A big couple of runs in this ballgame.
Hanging sweeper from Randy Vasquez, who, as we had already talked about, narrowly avoided a couple of homers earlier. Not this time. Two outs, 2-0 Toronto, and Bo Bichette takes a strike. It's 0-1. It's one of those high breaking balls that are sometimes hard for guys to get onto, but Lucas got the barrel right to it. Here's the 0-1. High chopper toward third. Bichette a little slow out of the box, but it bounces past Machado. Bo didn't go immediately from first. Now he thinks about second and decides to get back to the bag.
That could have been a double. I think Bo Bichette was running straight towards first base and was assuming that Manny Machado would come up with that baseball. He didn't even know that ball got past him.
He was watching the ball out of the box to see if it was fair. And then, Mark Budzinski was trying to usher him to second, but Bichette ran through first, and by the time he reacted, it was a little too risky. Another mound meeting for Randy Vasquez, and looks like this is going to be the end of the righty's day. Mike Schilt is onto the mound, takes the ball from Vasquez, who exits after 4 2/3 with 2 runs allowed, and Bichette standing on first base. This pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Quick check of the Stanley Cup playoffs as Oilers Stars Game 1 of the Western Conference Final has begun. 0-0. The game just got started about 3 minutes ago, so you can watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. In the NBA, also we have the conference finals. Tonight, the Eastern Finals, the Pacers and MSG taking on the Knicks in Game 1. It is currently 29-22 in favor of the Pacers in the first quarter. It's actually a rematch of last year, though last year's series was in the semifinals, this year in the conference finals. We also had Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on last night. Game 1 going to the Thunder, who came out strong in the second half on their way to a 114-88 final score. Hamilton's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 20 of his 31 points in the second half. Game 2 will go on Thursday. Of course, we got more news on SGA today. The Hamilton native officially announced as the NBA MVP today. He earned 71 of 100 potential first-place votes. He led the league in scoring, led the Thunder to a league-best 68-14 regular season record. He is just the second Canadian to win the award, following Victoria BC's Steve Nash, who, of course, won MVP in back-to-back seasons in 05 and 06. SGA beat out a pair of multi-time award winners in Nikola Jokic, a 3-time MVP, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, a 2-time MVP. And speaking of those two, if you add in Joel Embiid, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning it means it is now 7 straight seasons that a non-American has won the NBA Most Valuable Player trophy. Blue Jays baseball, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection, of course. Let's get you back to the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Right-hander Jeremiah Estrada into the game for the Padres. His 23rd appearance of the season comes with the Blue Jays leading 2-0. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, and Bo Bichette on first. Estrada, the flamethrower, faces Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy 0 for 2 today. Guerrero's got a 20-game on-base streak. Here's the pitch. Popped up, back behind home, headed in our direction. It's just going to drop a little too far in front of us for even your long arms, Chris, to get to it. It's 0-1. Estrada, the right-hander, 26 years old, from California, 6 foot tall, 234 pounds. He averages 98 on the four-seamer, throws a splitter and slider as well. 0-1. Bounced it to the plate. That looked like the splitter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a pretty good job from Martin Maldonado back there. Blocking that tough baseball, keeping Bo Bichette at first base.
The 1-1. Fouled away. 99 just above the zone, 1 and 2.
I don't even know how Vlad got to that baseball. Up and in. Almost 100 miles an hour.
That's the kind of stuff that helps Estrada be in the top 5 in the majors in both swing and miss and strikeout percentage. His 1-2. Hit hard on the ground at the shortstop. Bogarts goes the short way to second to cut down Bichette and end the inning. The Blue Jays on the board, though. 2 runs on 2 hits. It was the home run from Nathan Lucas that opened it up for Toronto. Blue Jays lead 2-0 after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Oh, what a catch!
Stream over 150 Blue Jays games all season long.
You won't see this anywhere else.
Including pre- and post-game coverage with Jamie and Joe on Blue Jays Central.
One of the best in the game right here.
Watch all the Blue Jays action wherever you are, at home or on the go.
Don't you love baseball?
Plans start from $24.99 a month.
We are good to go.
Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball cracked to center field, to the wall, to the track. It's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The sixth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. 2-0 Toronto. Kevin Gausman to Martin Maldonado. Swing and a foul tip. Strike one. And pardon me, new catcher, as Maldonado's battery mate Randy Vasquez has been lifted. So has Maldonado. Elias Diaz, once an all-star with the Rockies, and the other catcher on this club, comes in to pinch hit. 0-1. Check swing. Pitch was low. Peel down to first, and he did go around. James Jean says so. Kirk was a little late to point. Good thing he did. It's 0-2.
Padres have a couple of old backstops, don't you think? 34 years old for Diaz, 38 years old for Martin Maldonado.
If you're going to have veterans, though, doesn't that feel like the right position?
Sure, yeah.
The 0-2. Low one ball and 2 strikes. I mean, as long as the knees feel fine and the shoulder feels fine, captain of your infield and maybe your team overall, guiding some young pitchers. The 1-2. Check swing, pitch in the dirt. This time he did hold up 2 balls, 2 strikes. Diaz with a big 2023 season when he was with the Padres NL West rivals and the Colorado Rockies. Hit a career. Next pitch, pardon me, chopped on the ground at third, backing up Barger. He's got a long throw over to first, and he makes it in time with a bit of a sidearm motion. Haven't seen a ton of that from Addison Barger, the former shortstop. But he slung it over to get Diaz from deep, 1 down.
Well, he probably should have charged that baseball. That was a high hopper off the bat of Diaz, and he took a couple of steps back. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make that throw, but as we've seen so often, Addison Barger has a very, very good arm.
If you ask the question, can Addison Barger make that throw? 99 times out of 100, the answer is yes. Pitch to Fernando Tatis Jr. Called high, was borderline at the top of the zone with a slider, 1-0.
Also, that throw was very accurate, right to the chest of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
With that sidearm snapping throw rather than over the top. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Fernando Tatis Jr. entered today 8 for 17 in his career against Gausman, a double and 2 homers, and Gausman's splitter has him all out of sorts so far. 2 strikeouts for the right-handed hitter and 2 at-bats. Here's the 1-1. Bounced a slider, I believe. No, a splitter. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You don't want to throw too many split fingers, though. Eventually, Tatis will figure you out. You have to mix in a fastball, maybe even a slider during this at-bat.
I should note, Tatis's numbers against Gausman, like almost everyone on the Padres, it comes from 3-4 years ago with the Giants. The 2-1. Swing and a high fly ball, left center field. Both Varsho and Lucas coming in. Varsho calls off Lucas, cuts in front of him, and makes the catch. 2 outs.
But if you continue to locate that split finger like Kevin Gossman has down in the strike zone, I'm sure he'll get some weak contact just like he did.
Kevin Gossman today, as per usual, throwing a ton of splitters. Through his first 70 pitches, he was about 50-50 splitters and four-seamers and almost entirely ditched the slider. He's actually thrown more splitters now than four-seamers. Here's his 74th pitch. It goes to Luis Arraez. It's a fastball outside, ball 1. For Gossman, 37 splitters, 35 four-seamers, and 2 sliders. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Gets the rare whiff from Arraez on an elevated heater. If you're going to get him to swing and miss, usually velocity does it. It's 1-1.
It's so funny seeing Luis Arraez's facial expressions after swinging and missing. We saw one last night, and that one right there, he is furious at himself.
He almost looks confused when he does it, just because it's a feeling he doesn't have very often. By far the best in baseball at not swinging and missing. The 1-1. Bounced on the ground toward first, foul, 1-2.
Yeah, he's got that confused look. How did that even happen? Not sure.
Part of the reason Arraez can do this is bat control. When you're a kid, you learn bat speed is good. The faster you swing your bat, the better. Arraez swings the slowest bat of anyone in Major League Baseball. He just guides it to the ball. And he's got great hand-eye coordination, of course. 2 outs, base is empty, the 1-2. Hit on the ground toward first, past the dive of Guerrero, down the line. A base hit into the right field corner. Arraez racing for second. Springer still digging it out. Arraez looking for third. The throw from Clement, not in time. Luis Arraez with his 3rd triple of the year, and his 2nd hit tonight. He's on 3rd with 2 outs.
Well, I think George Springer was shaded towards the right center gap, so it gave Luis Arraez a chance to get a triple there, but he was running hard out of the box. He realized that George Springer had a long way to go. Yeah, he was thinking triple around first base. Good job from him.
Well, the good thing for him, because he hit it straight to right, the play's right in front of him, so he could see how it was developing until he made the turn. And then once you get to second, you pick up Tim Leeper, former Blue Jays first base coach, current Padres third base coach. And Arraez, who's not necessarily known for his speed, another triple. And for the Padres, one of their best chances to score today.
And you have to be careful here with Manny Machado in the batter's box now. You have a run at third base, but you have 2 outs in this inning.
Arraez has 2 of the 3 Padres hits today. The other one is Machado, who doubled in the 4th. 1 for 2 on the day. Infield place back shifted to the third base side of the diamond. Gossman looking in. Long pause, kicks and fires. Swing and a fly ball right field. Springer sprinting toward the foul line. Pulling up near the side warning track, makes the catch, and Kevin Gossman gets rid of the threat in 1 pitch. No runs for the Padres on 1 hit. Arraez left on 3rd, and it's still 2-0 Toronto, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Be kind. Rewind to the best of the 90s. Get jiggy with 90s hip-hop and R&B on Sirius XM Fly. Feel the angst of 90s grunge on Lithium. Or relive pop hits that are all that and a bag of chips on 90s on 9.
Check out these and many other 90s channels at home with Sirius XM on your phone, computer, Alexa, or other internet-connected devices. Just search 90s.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB.
Oh yeah, look what just came in the mail, insiders. We got that plaque. Be on the lookout for our unboxing video coming up soon. So make sure your notifications are turned on for that one. The kids are excited, and so am I. And I hope you are as well, because what this community has accomplished together, now over 100,000 strong. Toronto sports fans, thank you. Now, for the Blue Jays, what a night we have tonight. The Blue Jays got the win last night against the Padres. Let's do it again, Jays. Come on, we got to cheer them on loud in the chat. Please hit that like button. Share this link out. Let's keep growing this awesome community. And oh yeah, if you're new, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Blue Jays game the rest of the season. We'll see you back in the chat. Let's go, Blue Jays! Can't wait to open that plaque. Yeah!
Home half of the 6th inning at Rogers Center. Blue Jays 2, Padres nothing. New catcher for San Diego is Elise Diaz, who came on to hit in the top of the 6th. And now the pitch from Jeremiah Estrada. Swing and a miss on a good splitter. 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Estrada got the last out of the 5th, back on for the 6th. Is 0-1. Varsho squares to Bunton, bunts it foul, third base side. 0-2. That's really interesting. So they're shifted, giving Varsho third. He's a great bunter, but he couldn't keep that one fair. He is a great bunter, but mostly to the first base side. He's often a drag bunter, maybe not as used to going the other way.
It's also really tough to bunt 99 miles an hour.
Fair point. 0-2. Hit on a line out to right field. Charging in Tatis makes a sliding grab off to his left. Very smooth from Fernando Tatis Jr. 1 out.
Another nice play out there from Fernando Tatis Jr. You were talking about how good he is out there in right field. A nice, easy play, sliding, getting that baseball for a big first out in this inning.
He was playing deep, so he had to come a long way to get the Varsho liner. Dalton Varsho now 0 for 3. Here's George Springer. Estrada kicks and offers. Swing and a miss. 99 right down the middle, 0-1. Jeremiah Estrada, a 6th rounder by the Cubs out of a California high school in 2017. Is 0-1. Popped up very high and very foul off to the first base side into the seats. 0-2. Estrada debuted as a Cub after going through some injuries, including Tommy John in the minors. He debuted in 2022, August 30th, against the Blue Jays. Pitched a scoreless inning, striking out Teoscar Hernandez and Danny Jansen. His 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He strikes out Springer on 98, elevated, 2 down.
I mean, Estrada has closer stuff. Upper 90s fastball, a very good split finger. I mean, his stuff is essentially the same as Jeff Hoffman's. He's just not a closer.
For some reason, he just did not get a lot of run in Chicago. He didn't have sustained success, but he only pitched 17 times with the Cubs across 2022 and 2023. The pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Called a ball. Diaz with a look back. I don't blame him. That looked pretty good, but it's 1-0.
Estrada was also staring in at that call, wondering where that was.
Estrada sets at the belt. And the 1-0. Fouled back. You'd think, you look at this guy. He's 98. He's got 2 non-fastballs with the slider and the splitter. You'd think, okay, the Padres swung a trade, maybe gave some prospects over to the Cubs, or maybe he was a prospect traded over for a big player. No, the Cubs claimed him off waivers in November. Pardon me, the Padres claimed him off waivers from the Cubs in November of 2023. 1-1. High, 2-1. So they got him for free, and then last year he threw 62 times out of their pen to a 2.95 ERA. Also picked up a save his first career last year. The 2-1. Down and away, 3-1.
That is an insane waiver claim.
It's nuts.
94 strikeouts last year in 61 innings. And you claim that guy on waivers.
There isn't a general manager right now that would not take this guy in their pen. The 3-1. Fouled away, 3-2.
So you look at 2023, yes, he walked 12 guys in just 10 2/3 innings, but such a small sample size. How do you give up on an arm like that is my question.
The Cubs were trying to compete. Maybe they don't have as much time to have him in the big leagues at that point, give him some extended run, but to let him go to the Padres on waivers. Here's the 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. He does miss there for a 2-out walk to Alejandro Kirk.
That's a really good at-bat from Alejandro Kirk. Obviously, he's been seeing the baseball very well recently. And one of the best arms in the big leagues in Jeremiah Estrada. A tough take below that strike zone.
2-0 Blue Jays. Kirk on first, bottom of the 6th. Anthony Santander is up. He's 1 for 2. He hit a single off the wall in right field in the 5th. And now it looks like Ruben Niebla is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. Going to get to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard in a second if we can. Should mention, though, we were talking about Santander coming out of the box when he hit that single off the wall, nearly hit it out. And he did wait there for a little bit, but you had also mentioned, as we looked back at it, the ball did carry him right to Fernando Tatis Jr., so there wasn't necessarily a guarantee that he was actually going to make it to second base.
Right, so the ball hit off that chain link fence at the top of that tall wall out in right field, and Fernando Tatis, as he normally does, did a great job catching it off the bounce, moving towards second base. So he had all his momentum going towards second base. Probably would have thrown Anthony Santander out, but at the same time, don't stand in the batter's box unless it's 500 feet into those bleachers in right field.
That single did help kickstart an inning where the Blue Jays scored 2 on the Nathan Lucas homer. It's 2-0 Toronto, bottom of the 6th. After the mound meeting that included the entire infield. Estrada back on the hill. Kirk leading off from first base. And the pitch to Santander. Swing and a miss. 99 elevated, 0-1. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, 2 1-0 games have turned into 1-1 games. 1-1 Yankees and Rangers, top of the 6th. And 1-1 Red Sox and Mets, top of the 7th. 0-1 to Santander. High. He takes the fastball at 99. 1 ball, 1 strike. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Low-scoring game at Rogers Center. Estrada rocks and deals. Fouled off the mask of Diaz. 99 over the middle, 1-2.
He was all over that fastball right down the middle. Just fouled it back, hit off Diaz's mask. They're giving him a second. Anthony Santander is walking around that batter's box right now.
Diaz just into the ballgame. Gets a wake-up call in his first inning catching.
I'm surprised Todd Tister's not cleaning home plate. It's normally what umpires do when a catcher gets hit in the mask.
1-2. Foul tip, strike 3. Diaz looks into his glove. He does have the baseball, so that will end the bottom of the 6th inning. The Blue Jays with no runs on no hits. They leave 1 on, and they lead 2-0 after 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Tomorrow on Sportsnet, Hockey Central previews a big night in Raleigh. Then puck drop.
The Florida Panthers have picked up right where they left off here in Game 1 of the Eastern Final.
Florida came out swinging in Game 1.
Bennett looks to the net and scores.
The defending champs are in the zone.
Florida's just playing a wonderful road game.
Can Carolina respond and square up the series?
Deflects it in off his skate.
Panthers, Hurricanes, Game 2, the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Find your location at timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning, and guess who's back on the mound? Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman on only 78 pitches so far. Faces Jackson Merrill to begin the 7th. Blue Jays leading the Padres 2-0. First pitch outside, ball 1. 7th inning brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 1-0. Swing and a miss. What a good splitter.
That's a good pitch right there. 1-0 behind in the count. Have to throw a strike. Kevin Gausman did just that.
He is celebrating start 300 in style. The 1-1. Line foul to the left, 1-2.
Kevin Gausman just threw pitch number 81 at the ball game. He's looking good.
Right-hander tugs on the brim of his cap, comes set at the belt. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 8th K today for Gausman, and there's 1 out.
And that's probably not the location that Kevin Gausman wanted, but I'm sure Jackson Merrill was telling himself, see it up, see it up. He saw it up, and that thing basically just hit the brakes. Almost acted like a changeup, a great pitch from Kevin Gausman.
So many swings and misses by Padres hitters at Gausman splitters today. The pitch to Xander Bogaerts. Called a strike 0-1. Somewhat fitting for Gausman on start 300 of his career that he faces Xander Bogaerts, the guy he's faced more than anyone in his major league career. The 0-1. Down and in. This is the 3rd time Bogaerts hits today, and potentially the 57th at-bat he has in his career against Gausman. It's the 60th plate appearance overall. The 1-1. This is down and in again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's a really good fastball, down and in at 95. Pretty good take from Xander Bogaerts.
5-time Silver Slugger shortstop Bogaerts. Ready for the 2-1. Pops it up, back behind the plate. Kirk takes off his mask, jogging toward the end warning track. Ditches the mask, but it falls into the first row of seats. 2-2. So this is start 300, as I mentioned, for Kevin Gausman. Almost 12 years to the day of his first ever start. His major league debut came on May 23rd, 2013 for the Baltimore Orioles. You know who he started against?
The Toronto Blue Jays.
The Toronto Blue Jays. It was here at Rogers Center. 2-2. Fouled away off to the right.
That would have been really weird if it was like the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, that would have been.
Or I guess it would have been. Would it have been the Florida Marlins back then?
13. I think it's Miami by then. It's close. You're our Marlins correspondent, Chris. You got to have this information. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pacing around the mound, Kevin Gausman has struck out 9 in a dominant start today. 2 down.
That might have been his best split finger of the day. Getting Xander Bogaerts way out in front. Tons of movement downward. I mean, he is on another planet tonight.
2 outs, bases empty, top of the 7th. 3 hits allowed, no walks, 9 Ks for Gausman. His pitch to Gavin Sheets. Called a strike. Safe to stay. Start 300 is going better for Gausman than start 1. The Blue Jays got to him that day, but he's given the Blue Jays another good day so far today. They're up 2-0. A 1 pitch. Fouled back, 0-2.
Almost 2,000 innings, a lot of miles on that right shoulder, that right elbow. And we're still seeing fastballs 96, 97, even 98 miles an hour.
It's been a lot of good outings for Gausman since he gave up that home run to J.P. Arancibia in his first ever start. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good old J.P. Arancibia.
Arancibia doubled off him in that game as well. You had an Adam Lind double in that game.
He's managing somewhere, isn't he?
Not Adam Lind. He's a bench coach, Syracuse. I believe,
that's it.
AAA Mets. 2 outs, 1-2. And the pitch. Broken bat, grounder to second. Picked up Clement. Tosses over to first. That's 7 scoreless for Kevin Gausman. Blue Jays 2. Padres nothing at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance, here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about 99 right down the middle? Beats Manzardo.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. Bottom of the 7th inning between the Blue Jays and the Padres. It's Toronto 2, San Diego nothing. Great day for Kevin Gausman. 7 scoreless innings. Outdueled Randy Vasquez, who was solid. Now a second reliever called upon by Mike Schilt and the Padres. Lefty Adrian Morejon makes his first appearance of the series. 22nd overall this year. The pitch to Addison Barger is ripped on the ground through the whole right side. A base hit for Barger. Good contact his last time up, but he was robbed of a hit this time. He comes up with a single left on left.
Yeah, there was a big hole on the right side of that infield, and Addison Barger just found it. A pretty good piece of contact, hit it hard on the ground.
So a leadoff single for the Blue Jays against Morejon. Pitching change to the lefty. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Lefty Morejon in a close set, glove at his chest. Deals to Ernie Clement. Fouled back 0-1.
Another run would be huge for whoever comes into this ball game. I'm not sure if Kevin Gausman is done. I'm assuming that he is, but you never know.
And that's kind of how the Blue Jays cruised to a win yesterday. They got 2 big insurance runs after leading 1-0 in the early stages. Bottom 7, no outs, and the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2.
Did you see any handshakes down in that dugout?
I
wasn't watching.
I didn't. It is the bottom third of the order coming up next, but there's also action in the Blue Jay pen. Right now, Gausman's sitting on 92 pitches. Feels like it could go either way. 0-2. Hit on the ground at third and past Machado into left. Barger around second. He'll stop there. Looked like Machado pulled up on the ball or maybe just took his eye off of it thinking about starting a double play, and instead the Blue Jays have first and second, nobody out.
I think it might have been a tough hop. Manny Machado tried to charge that baseball, didn't get his body in front of it, and it just skipped over that glove. That would have been an easy double play, I think, if he came up with that ball, but good news for the Blue Jays, first and second, and nobody out in this inning.
You're right. That was a tough hop for the usually strong fielder, Manny Machado. He will get charged with an error. First and second, nobody out. Nathan Lucas up. He's 2 for 2 today, but the Padres are thinking he's bunting. Corners are in. Left on left, the pitch. Lucas squares, pulls it back, pitch down and away. Back pick to second by Diaz, and a head first dive by Barger to get back in safe. Bogarts with a couple tags just to see if Barger would get off the base, but he won't.
I think if Manny Machado just plays that ball right in front of him, squares that ball up, it's a pretty easy play. He might not have gotten 2, but at least the Padres would have gotten 1 out in that situation.
Instead, first and second, no outs. Machado a step or 2 in on the infield turf. Arise playing on the edge of it at first. And the middle infielders are in a little bit. The 1-0, Rise crashing as Lucas squares, pulls back and takes a strike. 0-1.
That's some good stuff.
98 from Adrian Morahone, who's got a mid-3s ERA this year. Throws a high 90 sinker, a slider, cutter, four-seamer, occasional splitter. The 1-1, Lucas squares and bunts it toward third, but it's going to veer foul, maybe 5 to 10 feet before the third base bag. It's 1-2.
That was a very smart play from Manny Machado out there. Risky play, but a very smart play. Now Nathan Lucas has to swing the bat. Well, I guess he could still bunt, but with 2 strikes, you're probably swinging the bat here.
Lucas got that ball on the dirt in between the turf and the foul line, but it had side spin. Machado's still playing in, as is Arise. They are watching for a 2-strike bunt. The 1-2 pitch, Lucas squares, pulls it back, and takes ball 2.
And he is bunting. Sack bunting with 2 strikes. You really don't see that very often.
You also don't see that when a guy has a 2-run homer for only 2 runs today, and then you're asking him to give himself up potentially with 2 strikes. We'll see if he does it again. First and second, no outs. A look at second by Morahone. The 2-2. Lucas squares, bunts it into fair territory. Machado fumbles with it. Everybody's safe. The bases are loaded. A ball off the end of the glove for Manny Machado on a bunt right in front of home plate. And that might be a second error in a row on the Padre third baseman.
I actually think that Nathan Lucas might beat this ball out if Manny Machado comes up with it. That's going to be an error. But Nathan Lucas was busting it down that first base line. I would love to see an overhead shot of this. Yeah, just Manny Machado just looked up before he caught that baseball. Another error in this inning for him.
Ruben Niebla out to talk to the lefty. I don't know what you say after giving up a leadoff hit. He's picked up 2 ground balls that probably could have ended the inning. First, the ball that might have been a double play ball if it didn't skip past Machado. And then the bunt that could have been an out as well. Instead, it's bases loaded, nobody out.
How about Nathan Lucas with the perfect sacrifice bunt, giving himself up against a lefty who throws upper 90s. Really tough to square up against, and he does it to perfection.
And he did it with 2 strikes.
With 2 strikes. That's the most impressive part.
Righty sidearmer Alec Jacob loosening up for the Padres. 2-0 Toronto. Massive opportunity in this game. Bases loaded, nobody out. Bo Bichette up to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. Infield plays about halfway in. Bichette, 2 career grand slams. The pitch from Morahone. Fouled off to the right. 99, bottom middle of the zone, 0-1.
He was all over that pitch. Just missed it, fouling it off the first base line.
Morahone tucks the ball in his glove, 0-1. Fouled off again to the right, again behind 99. 0-2. Blue Jays have Jimmy Garcia up and throwing in their bullpen. Gausman threw 7 innings on 92 pitches. Gausman's life in this game might depend on how many runs the Blue Jays get here. The 0-2. Called a ball. That was a perfect pitch on the corner. How can you have worse luck in this inning than Adrian Morejon has had with 2 errors and then a perfect 0-2 pitch called a ball to keep Bichette up there?
That's a really good pitch. Diaz was just set up on the inside part of the plate. That was the only problem with that.
The 1-2. Fouled off. Bichette just got a piece of it. A back foot slider. Two nothing Blue Jays. Nobody out, bases loaded. In the bottom of the 7th, it's Barger on third, Clement on second, Lucas on first after a single and 2 errors. The 1-2. Fouled off once more. 98 right down the middle.
He is just challenging Bo Bichette with upper 90s heat.
Seems like Bichette is content to spoil those fastballs, maybe look for something a little bit slower. Another 1-2. Hit to second and fumbled by Cronenworth. He'll flip to second for 1 out to get Lucas. Bichette safe at first. Safe at third base is Ernie Clement. And Addison Barger comes in to score. That won't be an error, but it's a 3rd miscue in the inning by the Padres and a fielder's choice and an RBI for Bo Bichette.
Well, Cronenworth was going to throw Addison Barger out at home plate if he came up with that baseball. It looked like he took his eye off the ball at the last second, a lot like Manny Machado on that bunt from Nathan Lucas, but a big break for the Toronto Blue Jays because they got a run. They wouldn't have scored a run if Cronenworth comes up with that baseball.
Padres have been a pretty solid defensive team, but not in this inning. 1 run in the frame for Toronto. Runners on first and third. 1 out in the pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Hit foul off the handle back behind home plate, 0-1.
And I wasn't watching Addison Barger running down that third baseline, but I can guarantee he was running as hard as he could. That might have caught the eye of Jake Cronenworth at second base.
For the most part, Addison Barger has 1 speed, and that's 110 miles an hour. The 0-1. Called a strike. 99 top of the zone, 0-2. Clement on third, Bichette on first. Guerrero's 0 for 3 today. Big spot in this game and a 20-game on-base streak for Vlad hangs in the balance. 0-2 pitch. Lined out to center, charging in Merrill. It's down in front of him, a base hit. Clement jogs home. Bichette up to second, an RBI single for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's 4-0 Blue Jays.
Well, he didn't hit it all that hard, but he'll take it every single time. A good job just muscling that baseball out to center field in front of Jackson Merrill for a big run in this ball game. 4-0 Blue Jays now.
Taking advantage of the San Diego miscues. This inning really should be over. Instead, the Blue Jays are adding to their lead, and Mike Shildt is going to his bullpen. It's a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 4-0 Toronto, first and second, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Let's go to today's host, Shoali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. And as we often have in the last few weeks, why don't we start with hockey in the Stanley Cup playoffs? We have officially advanced to the conference finals. We'll learn in the next few weeks who will be playing for Lord Stanley's mug. Tonight, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The Oilers taking on the Stars in Dallas. Currently 1-1. Leon Draisaitl opening the scoring for Edmonton with a very pretty goal just over Ottinger's shoulder. But a couple minutes later, or a couple minutes before the end of the first period, Tyler Seguin on a breakaway tying things for the Dallas Stars. This game currently in the first period intermission. Again, tied 1-1. You can watch it on Sportsnet. We also had Game 1 of the East Finals on last night. The Florida Panthers went into Carolina and stomped on the Hurricanes. It was 2-0 midway through the first period, a 5-2 final score. The defending champions take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 will go in Carolina on Thursday. And in the NFL, it is the offseason, but lots of news from the spring league meeting, which got underway this past week in Minnesota. The owners typically vote on rule changes and other business. A popular topic this year was finding out whether or not the tush push would be banned, as proposed by Ben Schulman's Packers. But the proposal did not receive enough support, 10 teams voting against it, meaning the Eagles will be able to brotherly shove Jalen Hurts to as many first downs and touchdowns as they will try to do this coming season. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays with runners on first and second, one out, bottom of the seventh. It's 4-0 Toronto as the young right-hander Alec Jacob enters the game. First big opportunity in the majors for Jacob, third season pitching in the big leagues overall. He's got about a 3.5 ERA in 21 innings, and he's getting you with funk. His fastball sits in the mid-80s, but he throws it from an underneath sidearm slot that tends to mess up hitters. He faces Dalton Varsho with one out. Jacob hunched over in the set, looks at second, one more peek at Bichette, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Really nasty change up there. It's 0-1.
You said it. That's some good funk right there. Not overpowering. You just have to be patient. Let him get in the strike zone.
Jacob out of Gonzaga delivers an 0-1, misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gonzaga, the alma mater of which great Canadian player, Chris LaRue?
What are we talking about? Basketball or baseball?
Baseball. Rookie of the year, Pirate. Jason Bay. Here's the 1-1, high and outside, 2-1.
Jason Bay went there?
Yep.
I don't know why, but I just assumed he was out of high school.
Jason Bay out of Gonzaga. Same with Alec Jacob, who pitched there a handful of years, including closing in 2019. 2-1 pitch. Foul tip, 2-2. Jacob had a quick ascent up the minor leagues. First full minor league season in 2022. He went all the way from high A to triple A. 2-2. Popped up third base side. That's going to get over the third base dugout into the seats.
And that's the four-seam fastball right there. That's all you're going to get, 85, 86 miles an hour. But again, there's a ton of funk. That changeup really is the difference maker. 10 miles an hour slower than that fastball.
He will throw a sinker. He will throw a sweeper as well, but it's mostly four-seam change. First and second, one out. 4-0 Toronto, bottom of the seventh. Jacob in the set, glove below his belt. Now the 2-2. Hit away, foul to the left again.
There's probably 30 or 40 people at the game right now in the stands that are saying to themselves, I could throw that hard. Put me out there.
And I think 15 of them are being honest with themselves. The other ones are dreaming. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good change by Jacob, 2 down.
But I bet they don't have that changeup.
Nope.
That thing is gross, and that's the difference maker for him.
I got the opportunity to see Alec Jacob in the minor leagues. I was calling games for the Fort Wayne Tin Caps in 2022. He started the year there. He did not last very long. In 4 appearances, he threw 9 shutout innings with 16 strikeouts and no walks. He was in AAA by the end of the season. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Jacob deals to George Springer. Check swing, called strike, 86 on the outside edge. 0-1.
I love when guys throw mid-80s and they just get guys out. You could see the frustration. Dalton Varsho going back to that dugout. How did that guy get me out? I'll tell you, the changeup.
Jacob with a look at second, and the 0-1. Misses well outside with his changeup, or no, his sweeper actually spun around as he yanked that one on the delivery. 1-1. The pitch. Springer hits it on the ground near the third baseline. Backhanded Machado, stumbling, long throw to first, off the glove of Arise. Coming to the plate, Bo Bichette. He'll score, and the Blue Jays take a 5-0 lead. Manny Machado made a great play to his right, skipped a throw to Arise that gave him a chance, and this time it'll be tough luck for Machado, who will likely get charged with the error there that brings in Bichette.
And if I'm in that Padres dugout, I'm probably thinking to myself, why didn't Manny Machado just catch that baseball, put it in his back pocket, and keep that runner at third base? Instead, he tried to throw it across the diamond, across his body, and that run ended up scoring.
It's a base hit for Springer, but an error to bring in the run, I believe. And the first pitch to Alejandro Kirk is down and away, ball one.
And that's a big run, too. 5-0 now in this ball game.
First and second, Springer on first, Guerrero on second. Jacobs 1-0. High, 2 balls, no strikes.
This has been a wild inning for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, they've only marked it as 2 errors for now, but I can't imagine you could justify that Bichette was going to score on that play if the throw doesn't bounce away. 2-0. Outside, back pick to first, Springer way off the bag. But the tag never applied by Arise, so Springer dives back in. They probably had him. A bit of a tougher tag for a right-handed first baseman by Arise, but that play worked to perfection until it didn't.
It almost looked like he kind of tripped, didn't it? Looked like he tripped over first base, or his cleat caught the dirt, but that's a great throw by Diaz.
5-0 lead, the 3-0. Called a strike.
So the only way that I can say that that's not an error on Machado throwing that baseball across the diamond is a lot of the times the runner from second with 2 outs in an inning, they're coming around third base regardless.
But the inning ends if he doesn't bounce that throw.
But
you got a point. 3-1, called a strike, 3-2. I think that would still be a pretty generous scoring decision in favor.
But if he's coming around third base, that's a long, high throw from Manny Machado. Does he have enough time to score, even if Arise catches that baseball, Springer is safe at first base, and then Arise throws to home plate? I'm not an official scorer, so I'm not asking myself that question, but
it's possible. Runners will be off on this pitch. The 3-2 to Kirk. High ball 4, and this long bottom of the 7th continues.
Pretty good at bat there from Alejandro Kirk. Now the bases are loaded. Jonathan Clase is walking to the plate.
Blue Jays are going to bring in Clase to hit for Anthony Santander. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And now a mound meeting for Alec Jacob. Let's go quickly to the Bet365 standings. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Yankees enter today leading the division 28-19 with the Red Sox 25-25, 4.5 back. The Blue Jays 5 back, 23-24. The Rays 6 back after a win today, 23-26. And the Orioles 12.5 back after a win today, 16-32. Padres, losers of 4 in a row, are still only 1.5 behind the Dodgers with 3 games in hand. They're 27-19. Dodgers are 30-19. Clase up to the plate, bases loaded, 2 down. Alec Jacobs pitch. Called a strike. This is a bit of an interesting move. The Blue Jays are up 5-0. Clase hits for Santander. It's not like they're up 9-0. Guerrero on third, Springer on second, Kirk on first, the 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball deep right center field. Merrill going back at the track. It's down at the base of the wall. Guerrero scores. Springer scores. Up to third, Alejandro Kirk. A 2-run double for Jonathan Clase off the bench. And it's 7-0 Blue Jays.
How about that? That's got to feel good for Jonathan Clase. A beautiful swing. A couple of RBIs, and the Blue Jays are up 7-0 in this ball game.
About 10 minutes ago, they were up 2-0. A couple errors helped kickstart the inning. Toronto scored 5 in the frame. Third hit of this Major League season for Clase. 2 of them have been doubles with runners in scoring position. Here's Addison Barger, who led off this inning. Pitch from Jacob. High ball 1. Clase on second, Kirk on third. 2 outs. And a 7-0 Blue Jay lead in the bottom of the 7th. Right on left, the pitch. High ball 2. No one warming up in the Padre pen. They're asking Alec Jacob, who can be rubber-armed with his sidearm delivery, to finish off this inning. 20 pitches for Jacob. His 21st. Barger swings and lifts it to center. Merrill going back and a little toward left center. Settles under it. Makes the catch to finally put a lid on this inning. The Blue Jays score 5 runs in the frame. They come up with 4 hits, a couple of errors from San Diego, and it's 7-0 Toronto going to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hello, it's me, Katie Nolan, host of Casuals on the SiriusXM Podcast Network. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm joined by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment to break down our favorite news stories from the sports world and beyond. It really doesn't matter what level of sports fandom or knowledge you have, just bring what you've got. We're all here to have fun and learn together. No judgments. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you, the baseball fan that's hanging out with us here on TSI during the Blue Jays game. We appreciate you being here, and now that we've got your attention, what are you waiting for? Please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Blue Jays game this season. Oh yeah, the TFC games and the Argos games all summer long as well. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining our awesome community. We're so close to 100K. Let's get there. Thank you for helping us make a difference. We really appreciate you taking a second from listening to the Jays game and hitting that subscribe button. It really, really, really makes a difference with our channel and with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Go Blue Jays, go. Let's make a run at the playoffs this year. We have the talent. We'll see you back in the chat.
Channel 90. Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Here at Rogers Center, this game has changed dramatically since we entered the last inning. It's now the 8th, and the Blue Jays are up 7-0. A 5-run bottom of the 7th inning has put Toronto comfortably in front. On the hill for the Blue Jays is a new pitcher, their first reliever today, Jose Urena. Right-hander starts off with Jake Cronenworth. He'll get the bottom third of the Padre order. The pitch. 97, top of the zone, strike, 0-1.
And the Blue Jays, the good thing about the Blue Jays being ahead 7-0 now is they don't have to use Chad Green. They don't have to use Jimmy Garcia.
Next pitch, cut on and missed. 0-2.
They won't have to use Jeff Hoffman. Keep in mind, they don't have another off day until June 2nd. It's a long ways away.
And they got a win yesterday without using Jimmy Garcia, so they get him a little extra rest. Urena's 0-2. Downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Urena's 1-2. Just inside with a 98-mile-per-hour sinker. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a really good fastball. A lot of sink. 98 miles an hour up and in, just missing that strike zone.
The stuff just pops off the charts for Urena, whose 2-2 is hit high and deep and foul off to the right into the seats. He's got 7 1/3 innings of work so far with the Blue Jays. 2 starts, 1 relief appearance. 5 earned runs allowed. The long ball has hurt him a little bit. 2-2. Outside at 88. Ball 3.
You don't want to walk the leadoff guy here. You have to fill up that strike zone. You give up a home run or a base hit, not a big deal.
Baseball hasn't seen the 7-run homer yet, but I guess it's possible. 3-2. Lined up the middle, caught by Bo Bichette. Hard contact, but it works, and that's why you throw strikes. 1 out.
Well, Bo Bichette was placed perfectly shaded towards second base, almost up the middle. Jake Cronenworth hit that on the screws, but right at Bo Bichette.
So 1 out, top of the 8th. Urania facing home plate. Kicks and offers to Jason Hayward outside, ball 1. This pitching change to Jose Urania brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 1-0. Called a strike. What a great day it was today for Kevin Gausman, who Urania replaces. Gausman with 7 shutout innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 9 Ks, 1-1. Hayward takes outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. It really doesn't get much better than what Kevin Gausman provided today.
Nah, he was great. Just filled up that strike zone all night long.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Nasty breaking ball at the back foot, 2-2. It's funny, it felt like he had a bit of trouble because all 3 hits he allowed were extra base hits. Doubles to Arise and Machado and a triple to Arise. 2-2 low, 3-2. But that was the only traffic he faced. 3-2 count, 1 out, bases empty, top of the 8th. With Toronto up 7-0, long-haired Urania offers home. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Heck of a punch out there on a slider in on the hands. 2 down.
That's some good stuff right there. I'm sure that Jason Hayward was thinking something hard, that sinking fastball in the upper 90s, and Urania just mixed in that slider below the hands on the inside part of the plate. A very tough pitch to square up.
That's been a big change for Urania so far with the Blue Jays. As he delivers the first pitch breaking ball, gets a swing and a miss by Diaz, 0-1. He's not necessarily leading with that hard fastball right now. Instead, keeping it in his back pocket and throwing more changeups and breaking balls. The 0-1. Fouled away, 0-2.
And then mixing in that 97 just like that last pitch was at the top of the strike zone. And now you get a hitter thinking, okay, what's he going to throw here? He's thrown the heater in. He's thrown the slider away. Is he going to throw a changeup, another heater in? I like the sequences so far.
Elias Diaz asked for time and stepped out. Right-handed hitting catcher faces an 0-2, and it's upstairs. A slider that missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blue Jays 7, Padres nothing. The 1-2. Hit on the ground, deep short, backhanded by Bichette. Throws off the turf to first. Dug out by Guerrero. No, it pops out of the glove. He slams the ball onto the dirt. He went into the splits as he tried to backhand that one. But Diaz is safe with what should be an infield single. 2 down.
That was a tough hop for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The long hop is easy to corral over there for first baseman. The short hop is really easy. That was the in-between hop. It's really tough to catch. Not an easy play over there.
Guerrero nearly caught it with the bare hand after it went off his glove, but didn't bring it in. It is a hit for Diaz, and now Fernando Tatis Jr. fouls off the first pitch into the camera well beyond the first base dugout, 0-1.
And that's why you'll see when shortstops catch that ball deep in the hole, they tend to throw that long hop on purpose because it's very easy to catch for first baseman.
The 0-1. Hit on the ground softly left side. Barger circles around it, slings it over to first, and it's in the dirt off the glove of Guerrero on the backhanded pick attempt. So that'll be another base runner for the Padres, and I think that one will go down as an error for Addison Barger.
This has been a crazy inning defensively for the San Diego Padres, now for the Toronto Blue Jays. A lot of miscues out there.
I think you look at the Diaz one, and okay, that's an infield hit. That was a deep throw from Bo and a tough pick for Vlad. But you don't really see Addison Barger skip throws over. He has been throwing that sidearm delivery a little bit more today rather than the full throttle over the top. And maybe a bit of an overcorrection from throwing sometimes too hard to not hard enough on that one. That's an error for Barger, and the pitch now to Luis Ariz, called a strike.
Well, unfortunately for Addison Barger, that play needs to be made 10 out of 10 times.
They had made Barger into more of an outfielder until The Andres Jimenez IL stint necessitated his return to the infield. Next pitch to Arise is hit high in the air to right. Springer barely moves, now stepping in a couple steps, makes the catch to end the inning. No harm, no foul. An infield hit and an error for the Padres, but they do not score. They leave a pair on, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays 7, Padres nothing. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Oh, what a catch!
Stream over 150 Blue Jays games all season long.
You won't see this anywhere else.
Including pre- and post-game coverage with Jamie and Joe on Blue Jays Central.
One of the best in the game right here.
Watch all the Blue Jays action wherever you are, at home or on the go.
Don't you love baseball?
Plans start from $24.99 a month.
We are good to go.
Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca.
Wrist clear Sprite, yeah. Mike Tyson, Mike.
Hey, this is Chris Bassett. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Chopper real life.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by Authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, Ernie Clement fouls off the first pitch from Alec Jacob, and we're back underway at Rogers Center. 7-0. The Blue Jays are leading the Padres, who have emptied their dugout. A one pitch hits Clement on the side. Good thing the fastball's 84, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't sting. Clement looks up to the sky a bit as he jogs down to first.
That might have got him in the rib cage. I'm not sure if he brought that arm and protected the rib cage or not, but like you said, 84. At least it's not 94. Ooh, that got him right in the forearm.
I mean, at least it missed the elbow, I guess. But it's not good. But Ernie Clement went right down to first base. No hold on Clement as the first pitch to Lucas is called a strike 0-1. Padres bring Jose Iglesias into the game to play shortstop, give some rest to the veteran Xander Bogaerts. They'll do the same for Fernando Tatis Jr., take him out and bring in Brandon Lockridge. 0-1. Swinging a liner, bounces into right field, a base hit. Clement making the turnaround second. Lockridge throws it back into second as Ernie dives head first into third.
How about Nathan Lucas? 3 for 4 now in this ball game. A couple of singles, a home run. He is really starting to heat up.
And even his one out, quote unquote, in his 3 for 4 day, he reached on a bunt after a Machado error, and you had mentioned his speed might have thrown off Machado on that play. He's been productive all 4 times he's come up. And that's your 9-hitter. Here's the top of the order now. Bo Bichette is up, first and third. Nobody out. The pitch. Called a strike. Blue Jays leading 7-0, and on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Red Sox and Yankees trailing late. The 0-1. Swinging a liner, headed to center, sinking and down. Clement jogs home. Up to second base goes Nathan Lucas. Both runners had to wait, but it's 8-0 Blue Jays on the RBI single from Bo.
It's a pretty good swing right there. 8-0 now in the ball game. This was a pitcher's duel about an hour and a half ago.
It really was. That 7th inning derailed that when the Blue Jays scored 5. And it's going to be a mound visit now as Ruben Niebla goes out to talk to Alec Jacob. Man, has this game changed. And for the Padres, you're not nearly at the point of panicking. Even if they lose today, there's 7 games over 500. But unless they come up with a dramatic 9th inning comeback, this will be a 5th straight loss, a season-high losing streak for San Diego. Not only that, they've only scored 3 runs in the 5 games, including today.
Well, I think you have to give a little bit of credit to Kevin Gausman.
Sure.
Of course, to Chris Bassett, who pitched very, very well in last night's win for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's just been a master class of starting pitching for them. But also, you have to sprinkle in the fact that the San Diego Padres just really aren't swinging the bat very well right now. They have a very good lineup.
Yeah, they've ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, 3 in Seattle and then Bassett-Gausman is not an easy 5 days. But they are struggling to score. 8-0 Blue Jays. No outs. First and second. Bottom of the 8th. Pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Called a strike. Vladdy 1 for 4 today, extending his on-base streak to 21 games. The 0-1. Bounced foul. It hit Guerrero's shoulder. 0-2. By the way, we should mention Anthony Santander was lifted for a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 7th, and Jonathan Clase kind of caught both of our eyes. Jeff Blair let us know. Blue Jays have said that Santander exited the game with left hip inflammation. That was one of 2 ailments he's been dealing with over the last couple weeks. Tough news for Santander. 0-2. Bounce just over the mound. Charging in Iglesias, the shortstop, tries to glove flip to second, and everyone's safe. It was an ambitious play from Jose Iglesias, who just came in. A no-look behind the back. Glove flip. And it did not get to the second baseman, Cronenworth. So the Blue Jays load the bases with nobody out.
Well, Iglesias knows that he shouldn't have made that play. Shouldn't have tried to flip backwards to the second baseman, Cronenworth, to get that runner at second base. You field that baseball, and you get the sure out at first base, especially when the score is 8-0.
Believe they have ruled that an error on Iglesias. And now there's going to be a pinch runner with the Blue Jays already up 8-0. Bases loaded, nobody out. They'll let Vladdy get some rest. He jogs back to the dugout. Michael Stefanik is in to run for Guerrero.
I can only imagine what that San Diego Padres coaching staff is thinking right now. What are we doing is probably the first thought.
They call that a fielder's choice and an error for Iglesias. Bases loaded, pitch to Dalton Varsho is hit high, deep center field. Merrill at the track, stumbling near the wall. It is gone! Grand slam, Dalton Varsho, and the Blue Jays have a dozen. 12-0 Toronto in the 8th. It just keeps on going for Varsho. His team-leading 7th home run in only his 15th start of the year.
Well, good teams take advantage of mistakes from their opponents, and the Blue Jays have certainly done that tonight. Dalton Varsho gets that pitch in the middle of the plate, and he hammers it for a grand slam and a 12-0 Toronto Blue Jays lead.
First pitch to George Springer, called a strike, 0-1.
I don't want to say that's the nail in the coffin, but that might be the nail in the coffin.
I think it was already probably decided. 12-0 Toronto. Pitch to George Springer. Outside, ball 1.
By the way, this San Diego Padres team is one of the best teams in Major League Baseball.
They really are. Started 7-0, have kept pace with the Dodgers all year as Springer lofts the ball down the left field line. That's a fair ball down in the corner. Springer jogging around first into second. He's got a stand-up double.
Also, there's 0 outs in this inning still. The Blue Jays have done all this without giving up an out.
There was 1 error by the Padres, one of their 4 errors today. But Blue Jays have exploded against the Padre bullpen. By the way, if you're wondering, 4 errors. They went back, changed a play in the 7th to add a 3rd error that inning. Then he added 1 more this inning, and now Mike Schilt's going to have to make another pitching change. Alex Jacob out of this ball game. He did not get an out. He did get hard done by the Iglesias error, but the Blue Jays have scored 5 in the frame. They lead 12-0. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Let's go back to today's host. Here's Shawali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Quick check of the Stanley Cup playoffs. One game already in the books from last night, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Florida Panthers going into Carolina and putting out the Hurricanes. A 5-2 win for the Panthers in Game 1. The defending Stanley Cup champs take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 will go on Thursday. On right now, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, the Oilers are taking on the Stars in Dallas. And so far, about midway through the second period, all Oilers. Leon Draisaitl had opened to scoring. Tyler Seguin had tied the game shortly before the end of the first period. And 2 quick goals from the Oilers, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evan Bouchard. It is 3-1. Oilers right now, you can watch it on Sportsnet. We also have conference finals updates in the NBA as well. Pacers taking on the Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Knicks leading the Pacers. It's a close one, 75-72. Back to Rogers Center. Here are Ben and Chris.
Tyler Wade is into the ballgame. There's a buzz in the crowd as the utility infielder takes over on the mound, pitching to Alejandro Kirk. His first defense was high. His second one hits the zone at 49 miles an hour, 1-1. 12-0 Blue Jays. Springer on second base, nobody out. Wade with a check on second and the pitch home. Gassed it up to 55, but missed outside, 2-1. Bottom of the 8th inning, Wade's 2-1. Floats in there at 58. Might have been off the plate. We're not going to scrutinize right now. It's 2-2. Wade kicks and offers. 2-2 is in the dirt. At 48 miles an hour, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I do have to say, though, that's Alex Jacobs' earned run standing at second base. I would be not furious because
Next pitch is hit on a bounce to short, picked up by Iglesias. Throw over to first, 1 out. What were you saying about protecting that earned run?
But yeah.
It's 1 batter, 1 out.
Well, Tyler Wade's doing a good job so far, but if I'm exiting that ball game, I have an earned run. I've already given up 6 runs in this ball game, 5 earned, and that's another earned run standing out at second base. I am not happy about that.
Fair. 1 out though. Wade gets the first out of the inning, and now the pitch to Jonathan Clase misses up high, ball 1. For Tyler Wade, this is his pitching debut in the major leagues. Next pitch misses. 2 balls, no strikes.
I was actually trying to find his pitching stats. I couldn't find any.
Non-existent.
That's why.
2-0. Outside 3-0. Wade never went to college, so you'd have to guess the last time he pitched in any game was high school at the latest. The 3-0. Inside ball 4. Clase takes a walk. This game got out of hand quick. It was 2-0 when in the 7th inning, a litany of errors were committed by the Padres. 2 at third on back-to-back plays by Machado. They actually went back and reassessed another error to Machado. Now the first pitch to Barger, ripped down the right field line, a base hit. Springer is going to go up to third. He'll turn and jog home. Clase into third. Barger into second with a double. No one going too aggressive, but the Blue Jays at a run. It's now 13-0, and that will do it for the line for Alex Jacob.
Well, Tyler Wade is now 1 for 1. Inherited runners scored.
That's true.
Alec Jacob, I can guarantee, is sitting in that dugout. He is not happy about that.
But if you're Addison Barger also, they don't say, hey, that double was off Tyler Wade in arbitration. You got to go out there and do what you can. First pitch to Clement is eye high at 45, ball 1. Clement led off this inning being hit by a pitch. Next offering. Swing and a liner, down and left. Clase jogging home. Up to third goes Barger. Clement at first base, and on George Springer football jersey day, Toronto scored a touchdown in the inning. They're up 14-0 on San Diego.
Like you said, Addison Barger will take that double and an RBI, and I'm sure Ernie Clement will also take that base hit and an RBI. Tyler Wade's not really throwing much in there.
No, you have to reach up because he's lobbing it so slow. Pitch now to Nathan Lucas. A little more zip on it. 61 way above the zone. Called a strike, but I think Todd Tishner feels the mood of everyone in this ballpark. It's 0-1. Next pitch. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was the first time that Tyler Wade gassed up. 72 miles an hour.
Got some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Next pitch. Outside. 2-1. I know guys don't throw hard in position player pitching appearances anymore. They don't want to hurt themselves. But do you get to a point where you're Tyler Wade if you're like, hey, I want to try and end this inning? The 2-1 is popped up. Iglesias, the shortstop, back out in shallow center, makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, I can't speak for how Tyler Wade feels right now, but I would imagine that the only person that wants this inning to continue is the person standing in that batter's box.
Right.
Of course, they're fighting. They're trying to get a base hit. Like you said, in the arbitration hearing, they're not asking who you got the base hit off of.
First pitch to Bichette, hit on the ground. His second, Cronenworth flips to Iglesias at the bag, and that will do it for the inning. The Blue Jays come up with 7 runs in the 8th, take a 14-0 lead to the 9th. Padres need 14 to tie it, 15 to take the lead. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
The Knicks and Pacers, after facing each other in round 2 last spring, renew their playoff rivalry in Game 1 of the NBA's East Finals tonight at Madison Square Garden. Play-by-play action begins at 8 Eastern, followed by complete post-game coverage on your 24/7 home for hoops. Sirius XM NBA Radio, Channel 86 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the SiriusXM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. The 9th inning is brought to you by new pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites only at Pizza Pizza. Actually Canadian. Blue Jays 14, Padres nothing. First pitch from Urania to Machado, missed outside. Ball 1. A couple defensive switches for Toronto. The next pitch hit foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. Guerrero was lifted for Stefanik as a runner in the bottom of the 8th inning with the big lead. Stefanik moves to second base. Ernie Clement bumps from second to first. The 1-1. Check swing pitch low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Blue Jays will also get Dalton Varsho off his feet, bringing Miles Straw in to replace him defensively. Only guy left in the Blue Jay dugout, Tyler Heineman. The 2-1. High, ball 3. And likely that's because Heineman is going to get the start tomorrow, you'd think, with the 1 o'clock game following a 7 o'clock game. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Machado chases a breaking ball outside. 3-2. Blue Jays with 12 runs in the last 2 innings have made this a laugher. 3-2. Bounce softly foul.
I'm sure if you left us around the 5th inning and you're just rejoining us, you're probably wondering what on earth happened.
And it's a mix of 2 things. The 3-2. Hit sharply up the middle, past the reach of Bichette, short into left center. Second hit of the day for Manny Machado. 2 things really contributed to this outside of strong pitching from Kevin Gausman. The Blue Jays came up with a lot of big hits. You got home runs from Lucas and a grand slam from Varsho. But also the Padres just gave them tons of chances to score. 4 errors by San Diego, all coming in the 7th and 8th. Jackson Merrill up, no hold on Machado at first, and the first pitch lined out to deep left. Lucas tracking back on the warning track, reaches out to make the catch. 1 out.
And they were ugly errors, too. They were really plays that should have been made.
The first one, a bad hop on Machado. That one's kind of tough. Second one, he misfields a bunt. That's a play that a player of Machado's caliber traditionally makes. Then you had a skipped throw by Machado that probably Arise should pick. It was kind of a Sunday hop up to his chest. Pitch to Jose Iglesias, his first time hitting. He takes strike 1. But because Machado bounced it, it's a Machado error that allowed Bichette to score. And then Jose Iglesias with an ambitious glove flip to second on a fielder's choice play. That was the 4th error. The 0-1 hit on the ground at third. It's picked up by Barger, throws over to first. Machado advances to third base now, 2 outs.
I think the Jose Iglesias error was the one where I'm scratching my head. You're down 8-0. Just get the sure out.
Right.
That's all you need to do in that situation. You don't need to make the highlight reel play.
Turn that inning into more than it needed to be, probably. But the Blue Jays will take it. They had their first shutout win yesterday. They're looking for back-to-back shutout wins. 14-0, runner on third, 2 outs. And the pitch to Gavin Sheets. Outside, ball 1.
I don't know if you caught that on the Sportsnet broadcast, but John Schneider's smiling in the dugout right now.
It's one of those rare days that you can feel pretty good even before the ball game is over. 1-0. Fouled back, 1-1. And it's no secret the Blue Jays, they needed this. They needed a series win on this homestand. They had dropped 2 series in a row at home. Tigers, sure, they're the best team in baseball, arguably, but Tigers and Rays back-to-back. That was a tough way to start this homestand. With this win, the Blue Jays will go to 4-4 on the homestand, a chance tomorrow to make it an above 500 trip home. 1-1 pitch, called a strike, and the Padres down to their last strike. It's 1-2. Over 23,000 trudged through the rain to make it here today, and they've been rewarded. The 1-2 popped up. Kirk ditches the mask, running toward the first base dugout, and he makes the catch to win it for the Blue Jays. Utter domination, 14-0, the final score.
Well, that was a very, very impressive and important win for this Blue Jays team. A series win against one of Major League Baseball's best teams in the San Diego Padres. They pitched well, and they took advantage of the mistakes that the San Diego Padres made. And I've said that a lot over the course of this season. Good teams take advantage of mistakes, and the Blue Jays did that today.
14-0 the final score. We'll take a step aside, wrap it up, and get you over to a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Tomorrow on Sportsnet, Hockey Central previews a big night in Raleigh. Then puck drop.
The Florida Panthers have picked up right where they left off here in Game 1 of the Eastern Final.
Florida came out swinging in Game 1.
Bennett looks to the net and scores.
The defending champs are in the zone.
Florida's just playing a wonderful road game.
Can Carolina respond and square up the series?
Touchdown! Deflects it in off his skate.
Panthers, Hurricanes, Game Game 2, the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Blue Jays win it 3-1
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
What a win for the Blue Jays. They down a great team in the National League, the San Diego Padres, 14-0. The final score. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. We're here at Rogers Center. We'll wrap it up for you before we get you over to Blue Jays talk. We're going to talk about the runs, Chris, but for the majority of this game, it was a pitcher's duel, and the main story was not the bats, but rather the guy on the mound. Kevin Gausman, 7 innings today, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. What did you like from the start?
Well, Kevin Gausman was really, really good tonight. Everything he was throwing was in the strike zone and out of the strike zone. And I think that's the most important part for him. He has to make his pitches look like strikes for the opposing team to offer at them. And this is a good offensive team over there in the San Diego Padres. So to make them look like this, to put up a big 0 against that team, it's really impressive. This might have been his best game of the season.
Blue Jays had Gausman keeping them in it. They didn't have much for Randy Vasquez through the first 4 innings, but they got it going a bit in the 5th. Anthony Santander, who unfortunately had to exit with left hip inflammation, hit a ball off the top of the wall for a single to start the 5th. More hard contact from Barger, but it was a flyout. Then a fielder's choice put Ernie Clement on first base with 2 outs, and up stepped Nathan Lucas. The pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep right field. Tatis back at the track. It's out of here! Fourth home run of the season for Nathan Lucas, and the Blue Jays jump in front 2-0 in the 5th.
Well, it's hard to recall that this game was in fact a pitcher's duel in the 5th inning. It was 0-0. Nathan Lucas got his pitch, and he absolutely drilled a 2-run shot to right field. It was 2-0 for the Blue Jays after that. And I mean, boy, oh boy, did they add on. Took advantage of Manny Machado's 3 errors in this ball game. They scored 5 in the 7th, 7 in the 8th, and they ended up winning 14-0, Ben.
It was unbelievable, especially from a guy with a good defensive reputation at third. Not all of the errors were exactly on him, or as bad as it might sound, but still. 3 errors from Machado, 4 errors overall. The Blue Jays scored 12, like Chris mentioned, in the 7th and 8th, including a Dalton Varsho grand slam for his 7th home run of the season. The Blue Jays win 14-0. San Diego with no runs on 5 hits. They commit 4 errors. They leave 6 on base. The Padres 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position today to go to 0 for their last 32 in those situations. Blue Jays 14 runs, 14 hits, 1 error, 8 left. Yes, they were helped by errors, but 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position today, including the home run from Varsho and a double from Jonathan Clase. Kevin Gausman's win in his 300th start gets him to 4-4, and also 106 and 106 in his career. Randy Vasquez with the loss, 3-4, no save. 2-hour and 42-minute affair in front of just over 23,000, and the Blue Jays go back to 500 with the win, 24-24. The Padres 27-20. This sets up an opportunity for Toronto to sweep tomorrow. The Blue Jays and Padres meet back up at 1:07 Eastern at Rogers Center. Bowden Francis against Stephen Kolek in the final game of this 9-game homestand. For Derek Brandeo and Tom Young, our technical directors, Sho Ali, our host and producer, Chris LaRue, my partner, I'm Ben Schulman. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hope to see you tomorrow, and stick around. Get your calls and texts in for a blowout winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. It starts right now.
All right, folks. Let's not waste this opportunity here. 14-0. The Blue Jays have beaten the San Diego Padres. That's right, 14-0. The Jays are 24-24. They can sweep the series with a win tomorrow afternoon, a 1:07 first pitch at the Rogers Center. 416-870-0590, star 590. 1-888-666-0590. If you're texting us, 590-590 is the text line. It is Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. This is Blue Jays Talk. Well, Kevin, it was a pitcher's duel when I made my way from the left field press box down to join Chris and Ben in the broadcast booth. And then it was like 10-0 or something like that. 7-0. Then it became 14-0. Let's pretend that it wasn't 14-0 for a minute and start by talking about Kevin Gausman and what we saw from him today. 46 splitters, 44 four-seamers, 2 sliders. This looked like the kind of outing you got from Kevin Gausman a couple of years ago.
Yeah, well, he went away from the slider when he threw Arise, the 2-2 slider that he hit for a double. He said no to that, right? He's trying to backdoor it, right? When a dude's hitting 347 with 2 strikes, you trying to occasionally trick a guy, which he rarely does, throw a slider to lefty. I think after that, he basically eliminated throwing the slider. You know, we talked about this on our show about how important quality starts are from the rotation. This is back-to-back games with the starter having a quality start. For me, it was unpredictability of how many times he'd throw each pitch. You mentioned, what'd you say, 46 split fingers and 44 fastballs. Like, you know, that's pretty even when it comes to, you know, just how many times in a row he can throw a certain pitch. We saw him throw 5 split fingers in a row to Bogarts. If I'm standing on the on-deck circle and I'm seeing my buddy consistently getting, you know, 5 split fingers, we saw multiple times, you know, one of those innings in the 4th there against Merrill, he threw 3 fastballs in a row after his first at bat with a runner in scoring position. He threw 4 split fingers in a row. There's many ways you can be unpredictable, Jeff. That, for me, was the way it was tonight. He got the leadoff hitter out all 7 times. That's a big deal, too. He was 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. When he had to make a pitch, he made it. I mentioned today on our show, and we had a conversation about throwing in. He threw in just enough. Remember, he's got natural runs. Very hard to throw in to lefties because you don't want that thing running over the middle of the plate. So how does he adjust that? He throws up and in. If it runs, you know, middle, at least it's up. It's very hard for a lefty because of the natural uppercut to get on top of that. So that was the adjustment he made. And, you know, give Kirky credit. His target was in. So that way, if you miss, you're missing in there. You ain't leaving it out over the plate. This is 2 games in a row where they haven't given up a big fly, which is a giant deal. They've been giving up a bunch of those at home. That's a giant deal. So I think the unpredictability, not only the location, how many times in a row he would throw a certain pitch, you know, the key outs that he had to get, especially in the 1st, the 4th, and the 6th inning. You know, it was against the meat of the order. When he was 0 for 5, he made a pitch when he had to make it. You know, the last one was the fastball in with the natural run against Machado with the little lazy pop out to right field. So it was exactly what the doctor ordered. We've said this a bazillion times, right? Lineup's probably not good enough to score 3 or 4 an inning, so you got to give him a chance to have the big inning. That means your starter has to be borderline outstanding. That's exactly what Kevin did. So this is, I think, what we're seeing the adjustment being made in. You do it in enough, which just sort of allows you to execute a little bit easier away and down, which is exactly what he did, right? You know, you have to do it, get him looking in there, get some called strikes, allows you to pinpoint the control away with the natural, you know, run on the fastball and the split finger carrying the zone down. I mean, that's how you do it. Like, you know, it's called pitching. It ain't called throwing, and Kevin put on a clinic doing that here tonight.
Yeah, and this was one of those games where John Schneider, I mean, I wouldn't say that he needed to shut it down in the 7th inning, the 8th inning, but, I mean, it got to a point where, I mean, good grief, Anthony Santander leaves with left hip inflammation. Jonathan Clase comes in and hits a double and drives in a couple of runs. The Padres, Kevin, in that 7th inning, my goodness, Manny Machado. I don't know if I've seen that. I'm sure I've seen a dude make 3 errors in an inning at some point because I've covered some crappy teams. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I've seen a potential Hall of Famer make 3 errors in an inning. I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, sometimes I think just by looking at him, if you didn't know Manny and know how he looks all the time, you'd think he goes after them balls a little lazy. I just think the one ball that he made to sort of start it all out was an in-between hop, which is very hard to do, right? I mean, he's attacking the baseball the way he should. It took that little quick hop on him, ran up his arm, and went into left field, and it just seemed like after that, the bunt, give Nathan Lucas with 2 strikes against a tough lefty, getting the bunt down. The ball had a little side spin to it. He's trying to run in and make that throw on the run, which that ball looked like it ate him up a little bit. That ball down the left field line where he's trying to throw on the run, you see the accuracy and the strength of the arms on point. Just sort of happens when your team's not going well. You're not winning some games. You're not scoring runs. Sort of your defense acts like your offense. And I think that's sort of what happened there. But, again, it happens to the best of them. Give the Blue Jays credit. Give Nathan Lucas credit. Right, he got all this started, staying in the big part of the field, thinking with that nice little easy, simple, repeatable, mechanical approach with his lower half. You get a hanging sweeper, that's what you're supposed to do to him. He's not a home run hitter, but when you get bad pitches to hit, because you're mechanically sound, not overswinging, not overthinking things, you just get barreled to it, create some backspin because those sweepers are doing all the backspinning for you. You just got to catch it out front and create a little backspin because of your big finish. So give everybody credit, Jeff. I miss the team win. It's exactly what you needed. But, again, it starts with the dude standing on the mound.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590 is the text line. Dalton Varsho also with the grand slam. The Jays scoring 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th, tacking on 7 more in the 8th inning. The game ended with a position player pitching, Tyler Wade. One of my favorite things in baseball. You
stinks.
Well, it does. You should be.
You should be penalized for that.
You should. I know.
Should.
I keep saying that. You should be forced to play the game of pitcher short tomorrow, and it should be one of the pitchers you didn't use in the game today.
Absolutely.
And that's the way I look at it. But anyhow, 14-0. I guess we really shouldn't complain. The Padres now going back to that 3-game sweep that they were dealt by the Seattle Mariners, Kevin. They are 0 for 32 with runners in scoring position. What does Bowden Francis have to do tomorrow to extend this misery? Follow the same plan, the same thing you talked about? Chris Bassett talked early. Let's dominate through the first time through the order. Try to win the first time through the order. Can Bowden Francis do that?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think you got to make some dudes uncomfortable by getting some called strikes in. If you're going to go into a lefty, go in and up to a lefty. Tyler Heineman's catching tomorrow, right? I mean, he's got a nice little sort of rhythm.